Good evening.
Can't keep a good stew down.
Welcome, everyone, to another fine hour of live with Charlie and a whole bunch of goats.
What's a group of goats called?
A gaggle, a murder.
A gaggle.
I don't know. A patch, crown. I don't know. They make weird names for stuff like that.
A daycare.
A daycare of kids, right? Because goats are kids. Okay.
I guess someone's gonna probably tell us it's a herd.
No, that's too boring. Make something up better than that.
Oh, okay.
Like a posse.
A posse. I like that.
Yeah.
It's hardcore.
We have a goat posse. That seems more appropriate.
That's very hardcore.
Well, since I almost blew it entirely last episode, I'm going to start off right away with a yo. Welcome, everyone, to the show. 8 o'clock Central every Wednesday night. If you're joining us live, great. Participate in the chat. That's what keeps this thing moving. If you're watching it recorded, try to join us live. It's a lot more fun. If you enjoy the video, give it a thumbs up. Yeah, exactly. Or 2 thumbs. Can you do? I don't think that lets you do 2. That would be pretty sweet, though.
It would be nice. Or
share the video. Yeah, there you go. Share the video if you know someone else who would like it. Subscribe to the channel. Ring the bell if you want to be notified. That way, when you forget it's Wednesday night live at 8 p.m. What the heck do I have in my mouth? Ugh.
Hairball.
It's a piece of hair from something. I don't know. Anyway. Ring the bell, you'll be notified when we're live, so you never have to remember. We'll do that part for you.
True story.
Mm-hmm. So, we have stuff to talk about. Maybe we'll actually get to it this week. we got chat heavy the last couple of weeks. Not a bad thing.
Yeah.
Chat rules the day. But we wanted to talk a little bit about top stadium club baseball coming up. And thoughts and opinions on that. Yeah, release day. I'm back on Whatnot and did a Whatnot show on Sunday. Talk about that a little bit. We have a hobby or no. Yeah, and that backed by popular demand, hobby or no tonight. So that'll be fun. A couple of new products I picked up today. If we got time, I'll poke through some of those. We in the Discord, a couple of people asked, what was in them, so I figured I could show that live if we got some time.
Speaking of new products, what did you think of this little nugget that I got?
Yeah, that's fun.
I know. Little. They were making.
Who designed the goat? Did you do that yourself, or?
Yeah, just you know, Chat GPT helps me.
Yeah, I know that's your life hook.
That's right. But yeah, my son had a basketball tournament this weekend, and in the lobby of the tournament, they had somebody there with his, machine the size of a log, making these. And so I just sent him the images, and he made a bag tag, which will be a nice, nice little piece of marketing to put on the backpack when I'm at a show. It's nice, solid metal too, like aluminum. So stuff.
Yeah, I assumed it was plastic, but it's aluminum, huh?
No, it's aluminum.
Dang. What do you charge you for that?
$15.
Okay. Not bad. Full color and all that.
Yeah. My son got one for his, backpack for basketball and stuff. And then they did a basketball shaped one with hardwood as the background, and then his name's on it and stuff like that. So
that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. They did a really good job. I grabbed this card too in case I ever wanted to try something else out, or if you want to try something, I can get you in contact with them.
That's a good idea. Just hauling that thing to places where, people need tags and just, collecting your $15 one after another. One kid on a team gets one, then the next kid's got to get one. And, that's how that stuff goes.
Jenny was bragging about it to all the moms. And then sure enough, moms and grandparents were out there getting them.
Oh, sure. Yep. So on my ball bags growing up, we always used deer tags or cow tags. The tag they put in their ear, the little red and white tags. And then with you just got the one with your jersey number on it. That's how you differentiated. Because we had team issued. I mean, I'm talking when I was playing like international ball. We had team issued bags and everything, so they all look the exact same. So
Yeah.
that's how we could tell them different. So yeah, they gave us cow tags. That's so we've come a long way from cow
Some
tags to custom aluminum
somehow initially I thought
machined.
you said deer tags.
I did say deer tags
Oh,
by
you did.
accident.
Okay.
Yeah, well, if we okay, so we live in the Midwest, big hunting area, and when you hear tags, you think deer tags, right? Like that's what you probably heard that 1,000 times in your lifetime.
Right. Right.
So that was like what popped in my head when I was going to say tag, and then I'm like, wait, no, they're not for deer, they're for cows. But I guess technically you could tag a deer with it. I just don't know why you would.
Yeah. There you go.
But yeah, cow tags. I don't even know that they do that with cows anymore, do they? Because it's all done with like scanners and
I feel
digitally
like
now. But
yeah, I feel like driving around some mega farms, I still see some ear
yeah,
tags and cows and stuff. Yeah.
yeah, because that's how you used to do it. That's how you kept your count. That's how you knew where everybody was the ear tags. But I think I think a lot of the farms use something else now. But
Got to go
anyway,
back to the old west and do some branding on them, right?
oh yeah, I'm sure they love that. That's good times. I think that's a little crueler than piercing the ear, but I
I
don't
don't
know.
know. I don't. It's hard to say which one's worse. Well, yeah, the branding probably is worse.
Yeah, I would think a little crispy.
I know if I had to choose one or the other, I'd probably get an ear piercing.
I've had an ear piercing. It's no big deal. I haven't had a branding, but I'm imagining that that's more of an experience than the ear
Yeah,
piercing would be.
I would think so.
So, all right. So, should we start off right away with hobby or no? So we make sure we get that in.
We could. It's probably going to take up about 20-25 minutes the way we like to talk about each card.
I
So,
think let's do that because that puts us about a half hour in, and then we'll get to some chat. We should have
yeah,
a pile
yeah.
of chat at that point.
All right. Well, I put some extra effort into it this time since I had some helpers around since the last time I did it. By request, we have Hobby or No coming up. Let's see if I can get it on the stage.
There it is.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the Dollar Box Live proudly brings to you the high volume flippers, the scarcity spotters, the comp checking, bin holding, never liquidating legends of the hobby, JC3 Cards and Collectibles, the Dollar Box, and your undisputed champion of the hobby, Stu. And if you're
Nice.
not down with that, we got 3 words for you. Hobby no.
Nice.
Yeah. We're good to go.
Wow. That cost a lot of gallons of water.
It did. All right. So last couple times we did it, we were kind of all over the place on what we were looking for. So I put together a little direction for us this time to kind of set the stage.
Welcome back to Hobby No. The rules of the game are simple. We will display a number of random trading cards with the focus tonight being football. When we display that card, the chat will have an opportunity to debate. Does this card have hobby or no? It's important to note we will be debating on the actual card shown. That means the same set, the same athlete. Condition in this case should be assumed near mint and is not a major part of the conversation. Hobby in this case will be determined by one of 2 characteristics. It must have at least one. Number 1, the card has velocity. Velocity meaning there is a high volume of sales and quick turns. Number 2, if the card does not show any velocity, it should at least have a confirmed sale with a significant buy it now price. A high buy it now price showing a sense of scarcity that makes it worth waiting for. with the rules in place, let's get started.
All right, are we clear on what we're going to define as hobby when I show the results?
Yeah, I mean, I don't normally play by rules, so I have
I
a
know.
feeling.
I fully expect you to go in different directions.
Okay, so just so we're clear on this,
Ladies and
that
gentlemen,
rules.
it's like herding cats sometimes.
It's worse than that. It can be worse than that. Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Are we ready to go?
Yes.
Now, these are random cards I just pulled out of a box when I was listing a few nights ago, and I thought, oh, these might be good candidates to list. And then I went about really assessing, is there truly hobby or no? So here we go. 2005 Leaf Rookies and Stars combo card, Frank Gore and Alex Smith rookies.
Ooh, this one's tight.
Yeah.
It's a dual card, which gives it some negative points.
Agreed.
It's the 49ers, which has a huge fan base following.
Also agree.
Frank Gore, while he's not yet, will be in the Hall of Fame. Alex Smith had a solid career, top 5 draft pick. It's a rookie card, so of course there's that.
Yep.
No parallel, no short print, no serial numbering. Popular set though. People like the Rookies and Stars. It's still being made today. Well, this is the last year of it, but I'm gonna say. So, what were the rules again? It has to have velocity.
Either high velocity or lacking velocity. It has some weight to the sale prices to make it worthwhile and show some scarcity.
I'm gonna say no.
You're gonna say no? Okay.
Yep.
Well, to settle some of this, I took actual eBay sales data for the past year. And that's going to help us figure out what's going on with these cards. So Dan's in tonight. He says hobby. Gore has a following, and Alex Smith does too, but as a Chief mostly. That's a good point. He had a good run with the Chiefs. So let's look at some of the sales history on this. Market data from eBay says in the past year, what is that, about 11 sold? It's a little small for me to see.
Yeah.
An average price of $1.50. So everybody's sticking to their guns. Designated Heckler comes in and says, no, but Gore has 3rd most rushing yards and will make Hall of Fame.
Yep, I completely agree with him. He just doesn't have a lot of hobby. He didn't have much sideline personality, if you will, or outside the game personality,
Right.
Despite his success in his long career, I think if you asked a lot of people who don't really know football or aren't really into football, if they know who Frank Gore is, and they're going to say no.
Right.
Versus, well, do you know who Tom Brady is? Yeah. Whether you've watched football or not, you've seen him in commercials and doing broadcasts and things like that. So I think that's the thing. And then the dual rookie is just not always a... No, if it was like Montana and Rice, right? That is San Francisco 49ers.
Right.
That would be something, especially if they were both rookies. Man, that card would have been a monster.
Yeah.
But I think this just doesn't slide that way.
Yeah, I'm pretty aligned with a lot of your points there, Adam.
No way.
As I looked at this data, I actually said hobby, and here's why. It doesn't have a lot of velocity, but I feel like with the rise in prices in the last couple of months, I can at least list that out there for $299, $399, and probably find a buyer within the next 3 to 6 months. So I think there was just enough, and I think for me, it kind of just barely made it by.
That's less than your $4.99 requirement, though.
It is, but I still do some stuff.
No. To be fair, if I found this in a dime box, I'm gonna buy it.
Right.
I'm gonna buy it. I'm gonna list it probably at $299 also, maybe $399. Just because I could leave it sit, and then when Frank Gore makes the Hall of Fame, it'll probably pop.
Yep.
That would be my play. So I'm gonna say no because currently I don't think this has anything to really get you going. Especially because my minimum price is $1.99 and kind of the average is like $1.75. It looks like ish.
Yeah, but you wouldn't list it at $1.75. You'd list it at like $3 and then hope someone bought it with your coupon.
But that's the problem, though. That's where you lose the velocity. You'd have to have somebody that was gonna buy it as a lot, as part of a lot, really.
See, and
to get it at
that's where
that
I
market.
think this has saving grace. Is I think this would be a hot pick for someone to throw in on a bulk buy.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, you could be right.
And I think the only thing that makes it get there is that rookie card designation and the fact that Gore will likely make the Hall of Fame at some point.
Yeah, I kind of look at this now. The dual player thing is what really makes it gross for me. If this was just a Frank Gore rookie card, I might have leaned more towards hobby.
Yeah.
Because I kind of look at this like an Edgerrin James rookie, right? Or Ricky Williams rookie, right? I sell those. They sell. Not for a ton of money, but you get them in dime and quarter boxes, and there's enough draw to them. And Edgerrin's in the Hall of Fame too, so kind of the same marks.
And that's kind of what I'm saying here is I think I can sell just enough to turn a profit that makes it worth listing if I get it in a dime box,
Yeah, that's why I brought that up. I think the key here is you got to get it cheap enough because it's probably going to sit too.
Yep, absolutely. It's not going to sell. It's probably not going to sell in 30 days. It's probably not going to sell in 60 days, but I think you do have a decent chance of selling it in that 90 days to a year. I think. Right.
Heck, I think Frank Gore's kid is in the NFL now.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, it's wild how fast all that stuff goes.
It is. All right, let's move on to the next one.
Hobby.
Good conversation on that one.
I was jumping in early.
Patrick Mahomes, 2021 Panini Contenders. A lot of base cards going to be coming.
It's just a base card. There is Contenders, hobby out there. There are people that collect it.
Yep.
I mean, it's freaking Patrick Mahomes. Like, there's definitely hobby there. He's obviously down and not a hot buy right now, but that's all the more reason I think to get some of that listed and out there because he'll be coming back. But yeah, no bonus points for this card really at all. Being just a common base, but Pat Mahomes, get it in a quarter or 50-cent box, and you're gonna turn some money on it. I sold a bunch of
2 good legs here.
Yeah, right. I sold a bunch of Mahomes today, so you can he will always have hobby even in down seasons, off seasons, whatever. He's still an MVP, a 3-time Super Bowl winner, all those things.
Yeah, Designated Heckler says hobby, but not sexy.
Yeah, that is the best way to put all that gunk that just came out of my mouth. That's the better way to say it. Hobby, but not sexy.
I agree. Let's see what the sales data actually says on this one. Look at that. 118 sold over the past year. Right around $1.15. Looks like it's pretty stable though. It was a little higher at the beginning of the year. Of course, as we went through the year and they had their struggles, it looks like it depressed a little bit. But to your point, if you get this in a dime box or something, maybe even a quarter box, you should have no problem selling this for $1.99, $2.50 even. He just has enough velocity to keep turning.
Yeah, my floor on a Mahomes listing is $2.99. But I do sell a lot of them in quantity, and then you get it for the $1.50.
Yeah,
which is still better than market.
Yeah, absolutely.
Better than market, plus no fees coming. Well, little fees coming out.
Little fees. Little
tiny fee out of it.
So I think we all agree. Hobby on this one.
Yeah, I don't think you could.
Alone, right?
Yeah, I don't think you could ever look at Mahomes and say there's no hobby. That's just insane.
Well, I'm sure there's some cards out there that don't move for some reason. The hobby's a weird thing.
I would take a chance on any Mahomes I could get for the right price all day long.
It would, yeah. I mean,
and it is nice now to find him in like quarter and 50-cent boxes. Forever it was minimum a buck.
right.
And I was kind of waiting for him to have not necessarily a bad season, but just a season where he wasn't running all the way to the Super Bowl, because it was a lot of years in a row that he did, and
Right.
so it was kind of nice. I bought a 2-row box of just Mahomes base, because I finally had an opportunity to pick up a big chunk of them.
Mhm.
So I kind of like it when there's people forget about a player for a bit.
Yeah, it gives you some great buying opportunities.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's move on to the next one. We're going to stick with the contenders for a little bit here. Now we've got 2021 Justin Herbert. What do we think of him?
Oh, he frustrates me so much. He has hobby, and I like him. I think he's got a good personality. I hit an auto of him right when I got back in the hobby of buying boxes. I hit an auto rookie of him, made some good money on it. So I have a slight bias towards him.
Yeah.
For that side of things, but it's just a can't win any games that really matter kind of attitude I have in his play. And it's definitely a team sport, so I'm not putting it all on him, but let's face it, in the end, especially hobby wise, that's where it goes, right? It lands on the quarterback. Yes,
So you're
good or
saying
bad.
just like Josh Allen.
Josh Allen gets, first of all, he's got Haley, what's her name, Steinfeld or whatever.
Yeah.
He gets bonus points there. He's got a lot of charisma. He's got national TV commercials, Bill's Mafia. Like there's a lot of other bonus points that go to Josh Allen.
But
he's thought of as a rushing tough nosed quarterback, and they've won some bigger games
that matter. So that's what made me think of Allen, because that's what he's getting to be known as.
I mean, you're not wrong. He's not automatic hobby like Mahomes is.
Right.
But does Herbert have hobby? Yes, I do sell Herbert cards. If I found this in a dime box, would I buy it? Possibly, but nothing more than that.
Sure.
Because I'm just not confident that, like the beginning of the season when they were doing really well, I sold a bunch of Herbert stuff, as I'm sure most of you did. But just so low end, if it's a dime, I'd probably throw it in the box. Especially as I'm building a bulk and getting a discount on top of that.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see the sales data, see if we see elevated numbers in the beginning of the year. Because you're right, he did do a lot better at the begining of the year. At least
they were I think they were like 6-0 or something, weren't they? Beginning of the season.
They were.
And he was rushing for first downs, and like there was some hype on that team. Etienne was playing really, really well. They have a new wide receiver too, right? Is it Ladd McConkey?
Yeah.
He was probably one of the best offensive rookies in the season, and so there was some juice going in for him. And then when Kansas City starts to falter, these guys get more juice, right? Because it's like, well, if Kansas City's not in, then everybody's got a chance, right? That's kind of the sort of the thought from the last few years.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm going to say hobby, just from the aspect of that he is a quarterback. Los Angeles does have a following.
San Diego.
Right. Does have a following. People generally like him. I think he's a good quarterback. If they can get deep into the playoffs, I could see, lots of buyers running in for his stuff.
Yep.
So I'm hobby more on like potential than I am like, oh, I'll buy this because I'll sell it today kind of thing.
Yeah.
But not much hobby on this card. I mean, $1.99, right?
Right. And I guess, when we said if it doesn't have velocity, it needs significant price. That's relative to what we do on the low end, right? Like,
to me, it's all about what you paid for it. I don't really care what it sells for. If I can get the margin, especially if I can sell it in lot value, if you will, whether you're lotting them up and selling them that way or you're selling multiple cards,
Yeah.
then that adds juice to it for me too.
Yeah.
Just
And
to have
that's what I
one
mean by
Herbert
that.
card in my store doesn't really do it, but if I can have 40 or 50 Herbert cards in my store, I can get sales out of that.
Yeah. Well, Dan says Herbert is tough. He kind of looks at him the same way you do. He has hobby, but it's certain cards and not this. So I'm going with no for this card.
And that's a fair answer.
Yeah. Yeah. Sidetrack. Daryl's with us tonight. He says, hi, guys. Enjoying the show. Just wanted to say I really enjoy the Discord and highly recommend it to everyone doing this low-end card life.
And that's
Appreciate that.
a great segue, as the Discord link is coming across the bottom of your screen there.
Yep.
Use that link to join. It's an invite. So you pump that thing in and it'll let you in and we'll all say hi and you're off to the races.
All right. Designated Heckler says, Erno needs something. Insert parallel chrome. Something. Give me anything. Just a little bit more, he said.
It is one boring ass card. I'll give you that.
It is, right?
Yeah.
So, over the last year on eBay, we had 70 sold, and there is that general downward trajectory that we kind of anticipated seeing. And his market's right around that dollar card. It was a little closer to $1.50 or so. Some of these charts are weird because you'll see the 99 average, but then right under it says $2. I'm not sure what that means, but
yeah. I think maybe that was like asking and they ended up selling for 99. I don't know.
I don't know. But I think, you can't really sleep on the volume. If you're in the low end business, you need to be turning volume. And if you can turn, 70 of these a year, well, you wouldn't be one seller doing that, but at least 70 represents, hey, there's
challenge accepted.
Yeah. Yeah. That I think that kind of gives this a little bit of hobby.
I mean, think of the overall picture, right? Let's say you want to be a football card seller, right? You want to sell modern football cards.
Yeah.
Who are you going to sell? Like Herbert's got to be on that list.
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
yeah.
Top 12 quarterback maybe?
Yep.
If you look at it from that aspect, he's still better than half the other quarterbacks out there. He has some tenure now. He is solidly their starter. He's pretty healthy. Team has added some pieces. I feel like they're getting a little better. Maybe I don't know. There's still hobby there.
Yeah. I mean, think of it this way. Hobby means, are people looking for him? Do people want this guy's cards? And if it's not volume, if there's not a lot of options out there, are they willing to pay up to get it when one arrives, right? In our low end space, it might mean $3, $4, $5, but that's still paying up compared to a base, typical run. So,
and this is different than running out and buying a, $500 downtown and hoping to flip it for a profit.
Correct. Yeah.
I don't know that that's the right move on this player during the off season and all that, but finding these tossed in a dime box because no one's thinking about them right now is probably your best shot to have some of it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't buy like 1,000 copies of it, but one or two to throw in your inventory.
For me, this was likely something in one of the box buys I made.
Right. So you probably paid like 2 cents for it. So, when you're getting cards, even like 90s cards, and we'll talk about that a little bit later, but I got some examples of that too, where it's just random stuff in a box can be your best sales.
Right.
All
right.
It's true.
Let's see what we got next. We got some more Panini contenders. This time, Justin Jefferson. I know you're a big JJ guy.
Yeah, they suffer so bad in the quarterback situation right now that it crushes a receiver. A receiver can be great, but if they don't have anybody throwing to them, it's a rough go. And right now, if you think about this division, the NFC North, the Vikings don't even really come into the conversation now. It's the Bears and the Packers.
Yeah.
So, team wise and, long term success wise with him, it could be tough. I would like to see him go to another team.
Yeah.
And then he'll regain that velocity. But I would say right now, I mean, I haven't sold a Justin Jefferson card in a few months, and I
Really?
have a decent amount. Yeah,
Yeah, and
has
you were
not.
selling a lot of them there for a while.
Yeah, and low end stuff. I don't have a big investment in it or anything like that. But yeah, I was turning stuff pretty good, and again, if I found this in a dime box, would I throw it in on a bulk deal? Yeah, sure. Um, I still feel like long term, he's going to have the career that you need to have as a wide receiver to maintain value.
Right. Right.
And wide receiver sales have changed a lot in the past probably 5 to 6 years, 7 years. They sell well. Wide receivers sell well. I get a lot of Jerry Rice sales and Marvin Harrison and Puka Nacua, and like there's Cooper Cup. There's certain players that I sold a couple Adam Thielen cards today. Um, And I still believe he's one of the best receivers in the league. I don't know if he's the top receiver right now, and that not a knock on him, more just the team in the quarterback position.
Right.
If Darnold had stayed there, he would have more hobby.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Looks like Dan does too. He says agree with Adam about the QB throwing. Darnold QB Minnesota, he did great. Now went to Seattle. Then Njigba became a star. Still, Jay Jetta is still a star and has hobby. So yes.
Yeah, I just feel like he could be brought down pretty quick if they don't do something. I don't think McCarthy is the answer. So
yeah, I think his hobby is on the decline and needs a little boost to stay up there. Designated Heckler says Jefferson is terrific, but he's not base card hobby. Maybe in the future, maybe I'm too hard because I'm really trying to train myself to avoid base unless a rookie card.
yeah, it's interesting. These are the cards you chose because it's completely counterintuitive to what we've been talking about for a few weeks, and I'm like, wow, this is like the exact opposite stuff that,
Yeah, like I said, it was just pulled at random out of a box. So
yeah, and you know what? I would list it. Again, it's one of those. This is one of those cards where I wouldn't really expect to sell it as a single card for $1.99, but if I list it at $1.99 and have a decent amount of Justin cards at $1.99, I'll get somebody on a 10 card order that'll pay $1 a card.
Sure. Yeah.
And then 10 cents to $1 is a decent return, especially when you're doing that 10 times over in the sale.
Right. Right.
So it's you can use this card to feed into your quantity sales, right? Into your
yeah.
So I don't know. That's how I look at it. Does he have hobby? Yes, he does.
Yep, and we see here he's still got a lot of volume with 75 sold in the past year. Market price wise has depressed though. And what's interesting here is you can see that's all in season stuff, and specifically it looks like late season stuff. You see those spiking up to 26 or so there. So yeah, I agree. I think he's got hobby. I think he's in a little bit of trouble right now with the direction he's going. If he gets a boost at quarterback play, I think you'll see a spike.
I agree. I think the offseason is going to drive a lot of where this actually goes. Not necessarily because of him, but just where the team goes and what they do at quarterback and stuff like that. I think that will influence if people stick with them.
Yeah.
For collecting.
Yep. Absolutely. Let's see what we got.
He's a hell of a receiver. Like no one can deny that. So like the talent is there. Now I feel like some of these guys are like Mike Trout, right?
Yeah.
Poor Mike Trout, best player in baseball and maybe ever in some people's opinions. I don't know that I'd put him quite that high, but certainly in our generation's baseball, but the guy can't win. He hasn't won a single playoff game. It's insane.
Yeah. Yep, absolutely.
So Anyway,
All right. Well, our next one, we got away from contenders for one anyway. 2005 Topps Turkey Red, Jason Campbell rookie card. Campbell, he had a couple good seasons as an athletic quarterback. I don't remember if it was injuries that kind of saw him face a decline. Did he play for the Bills for a little bit too? He moved around late in his career, didn't he?
yeah, I think he got traded, and that was kind of the end of it because he kept going to teams that were like drafting quarterbacks. Who's sort of like that journeyman slash coach type, you know, quarterback where he didn't really get any starting roles, but could still help a young quarterback because he was pretty skilled himself.
Yep.
Now, this is probably shouldn't be the answer from someone else. So this is where I have to go out of bounds on your little rules here.
Yeah.
This is exactly the types of cards I look for
Okay.
because it's not the card that everybody else is selling. There's buyers for his cards. I've sold some before.
Yep.
Turkey Red, an amazing looking set. It does have a variation background. I don't know if this is it or not.
No, this is the base.
The base. Again, it's going to be a dime box buy, probably going to get it for a nickel or so. It's a rookie card. It's a great photo. And he had some success on a team that does have hobby. So
yeah,
I don't know. I'd say again, the price always matters. I wouldn't pay 50 cents for this card or anything, but
sure.
A nickel to a dime. I would think there would be hobby in this.
All right. Well, Dan says he loves the set, but not the player. It's an no for him.
Yep.
Let's see what.
And I think that's what most of you should answer, to be honest with you. I do weird stuff. I'm not the best person to follow for this kind of thing.
Yeah. So look at these numbers. 1 year, and there is not much to speak of for sales. And really no price behind it either.
Yep.
So for me, that's a big, red flag. Designated Heckler says nope for him too.
Yeah,
but
you should.
For me, I look at it as, hey, space costs money to get, space costs money to maintain. And I just don't see enough of a return to justify a spot in my inventory on this one. So I would be an no on this one.
Yes, as you should be.
Yeah. And I was a Jason Campbell fan. I liked it. I liked watching him play. Like, my gut reaction when I first see it is, oh, Jason Campbell, and it's his rookie card. That's got to be good for somebody. But the market doesn't bear that out.
Just
right?
out of curiosity, do you know how many are listed?
I don't off the top of my head, and I'm only on the sold side here. It doesn't really tell you both when you're here. So I would imagine there are plenty listed. That's not a scarce card. Well, we can check it real quick. Let's see here. So that is a 2005, was it? Yeah, 2005 Topps Turkey Red, Jason Campbell. What number is that? 205? 205. So if I look at listings, just off the top, there's well, I've got one listed and a red parallel listed, but looks like there's hundreds of them listed.
Yeah, I mean, some people have them priced at $10, so that's interesting.
Yeah.
Mostly it's $1.99.
Right. That's where I'm at with it.
Yeah.
Man, I'm getting stuffy here. I hope I'm not catching a cold.
Well, don't pass it my way. I got too much to do.
I'm going to pass it through the live.
Yeah. So yeah. Interesting. That's an interesting pull. I would definitely say nope to like somebody who wants to just list cards that are going to sell.
Yeah.
For me, it's if I could get it cheap enough, it's something I'd be interested in throwing a copy in the store and see how it does.
Ironically, I have 2 of these base cards listed, and that would have been from when I listed everything.
Sure.
So now when I pulled this out, that went right into my curated lot box because I think that'll play well in a like quarterback lot or something.
Sure.
It adds value to a lot. It
Yeah.
doesn't hold its own weight as a single.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And that's likely how I would get the sale. You know, I'd list it at $1.99. Someone would put it in with some RG3 cards and, you know, stuff
Yep.
like that. And they'd buy their 10 cards and then I'd get the buck out of it.
Yep. Might be some Theismann mixed in there because
Sure,
we're talking
sure.
Washington quarterbacks.
Yep. Some Gus
Yerk-
Frerotte.
Yeah, Gus Frerotte. I saw some. I got kicked out of my computer for a little bit because Mrs. JC3 needed it, and I was sitting down here just grabbing some more cards out of the box, and I came across a couple Gus Frerotte, and I was like, oh, he had some good years, but I don't know that he's got much hobby now.
No, definitely not. Rare parallels or inserts or numbered stuff, you could probably, you know, for the right price, put some of that out there. But yeah, outside of that, no.
For sure.
No base.
All right, up next, what do we got? Oh, another Contenders. I think this is the last Contenders, so make this one count.
Yeah, I mean,
Jalen Hurts this time.
yeah, kind of the same thing as Herbert for me on this one. I mean, he is a Super Bowl winner. That would be the bonus points for this one. I like the green with the card. I think it pops nice.
Yeah.
When you're talking Contenders. So yeah,
2021. When was his rookie year? Is this a second year card?
No, his rookie year was 2020, right?
That's what I
Yeah,
was
2020.
thinking, but I don't know for sure.
Yeah, 2020. The same year as Jordan Love.
Okay. Yep.
So yeah, definitely hobby. This card in particular, no. None of the Contenders base stuff are gonna bounce out of your store, you know.
No, but as we saw with like Mahomes and stuff, like, you know, triple digit volume, you know,
that's because of Mahomes. It's not because of Contenders. There's still a lot of, you know, collectors that are like, well, it's a Mahomes card, so I got to have it, kind of thing.
And that's my point. A name can carry a pretty ho-hum set. So
now, if this was like a Topps Chrome Hurts, that would be a, you know, yeah, absolutely. Although they didn't have Topps Chrome then, but you know what I'm saying.
Right.
Prism base, whatever, you know.
Dan says he's going with no for him on the Hurts, and I think that's a pretty decent call, but look at the volume on this. 84 sold. That was more than Jefferson and might have been more than the Herbert.
He's more than Mahomes, I think. And it's probably because he's the most recent Super Bowl quarterback.
I thought Mahomes hit triple digits. He was 100.
Oh, did he? I thought you said 77.
Yeah. And, you know, $1 average, again, that, you know, you could still see this moving at your floor and turning some copies for you as well. So while you're not going to make a huge margin on these, but again, you're getting it out of dime boxes and you're flipping it for $1.99 at a pretty decent clip of, you know, 84 a year. I would say there's hobby there. Like people are.
And again, look at the team he plays for. I saw a ton of Eagles cards. So you could sell this along with a Randall Cunningham and a Reggie White and a, you know, something else that fits in that Eagle collector group and, you know, get a nice bulk sale out of it. Well, I shouldn't say bulk sale, a multiple card sale. That's different, but you know what I'm saying. Hello?
I muted it because I was sniffling pretty big time here.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe we lost you audio wise.
I'm gonna hit the hard stuff here with the Vicks vapor inhaler, see if that helps while we run the next card. So
okay.
Let's see what we got next. We've got 89 Pro Set Tony Mandarich rookie card.
Yes.
How about that?
Wow. Yeah. Oh gosh, he has such a great, you know, draft story history, and of course Packers. So there's that hobby added to it. Rookie card.
89
Pro pro set is not the biggest set. It was super overprinted. Like there's
Right.
probably like 3 trillion boxes of that stuff printed. I mean, it's insane. I remember, stores would just have stacks of them. $5
Right.
a box or whatever.
Right. Yep.
He doesn't have a lot of rookie cards, so there's that.
Yep.
Like I said, he kind of had that short run in that, he fooled the entire draft system with the steroid use and all that to get drafted. Then obviously couldn't use the steroids in the NFL, obviously, so it basically killed his career. But hey, I got the signing bonus, so
yep.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd probably still have to say no, just because I don't think anyone really would care about that. I mean, draft bust wise, he might have some hobby, but outside of that, I don't think there's going to be a lot of play for him. So I'd probably say no on this one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, would I buy it in a dime box? Probably, just because I like the story.
Yeah.
And Packer buyers will buy everything. So,
yeah.
If you just got to hit the right guy and it'll probably get a buyer, but
and that's
I bought Mandarich rookies and they've sold. So
yeah, and that's a good point. Like if your inventory is going to a regional cards show in the area, probably changes the the factors on this versus just listing it in the eBay marketplace for everybody in the world, right?
And the other thing for me is I'm a top Favre card seller. So I like having stuff like this because I'll sell, Terrell Buckley rookies and, Perry Kemp cards and things like that because people come in for my huge Favre selection. And then, of course, they got to hit their 10 cards for the coupon, things like that.
Yeah.
And some of these cards, like I've sold a ton of Reggie White recently, which is strange. I mean, obviously he's a Hall of Famer and stuff, but regardless, this could fit into, this could be my candy bar at the checkout of my Favre store.
Yep. Good analogy. Dan says Packers following an iconic set, but still a no for me.
Mm-hmm.
Our Lions fans are here. Lions card says, as a Michigan fan, don't sleep on the Spartan fan base either. College has a solid market. That being said, I think for this game, I will say no, but it would be something I'd list.
Mm-hmm.
And that is a great point. As I mentioned, going through some cards right before the show, there were a couple cards that as I looked at them, and I actually ran eBay's scanning tool, makes it so easy to look at the history of a card real quick now.
Yeah.
There were some cards in there that I was like, yeah, this really doesn't have hobby. I really shouldn't list it. But gosh darn it, I want to. And I put it in my list pile just because for me, I wanted it.
You never really know what's going to sell. It's just that pure and simple. Yeah. So you have to go. Yeah, it is important to look at data and stats and how many have sold through and things like that. But it doesn't tell you everything because it doesn't say how many are listed. What are they priced at? Yeah, there's a ton. We just looked at the Jason Campbell rookies. There's a bunch of them listed. Some of them are listed at $10.
Yeah.
Of course, there's no sales data for those at that price, But if you're throwing it up at $1.99, you got some other stuff that could go with it, especially if you can offer a discount.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can sell anything.
Yeah, absolutely. Designated Heckler says, love the Mandarich. This tugs at the memories for folks. I can see someone saying, I definitely need this more than $2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There are definitely people that would probably pay a $2 bill for this.
Yeah.
So true story, as I pulled this one out, preparing this, it was from a box buy. I didn't know these were all in there, but there had to be 12 or 15 of these copies.
Nice. But just FYI, can you put the card back up? Can you get back to that?
Yeah.
For the purposes of this game, again, the rules where everything's going to be near mint. This thing is so off-centered. Like if you're looking at it as like, oh, this is a nice copy I'd like to put in my collection, which if you're going to find a buyer, that's probably going to be the case. This isn't a great example for that.
Yeah, that's true. But most of the print in this set had something wrong with it,
Mhm.
right?
That one's pretty bad though.
Yeah, yeah. Everything else is good though. Corners are
Yep.
good. It
Yep.
doesn't have
Agreed.
much for chipping or anything.
I love the number 1 pick flag in the corner. That just
Yeah,
blows my mind because he got picked over Barry Sanders,
right.
Deion Sanders, Troy Aikman. I mean, the list goes on and on. That was a huge rookie class. Derek
Yeah,
Thomas, just an amazing rookie class, and we get Tony Mandarich,
yeah.
So it's one of the biggest NFL draft blunders ever, I would say,
Correct.
if not the biggest.
Which we've talked about before. NFL busts, Mandrich, Ryan Leaf. There's people that go out there seeking those.
Johnny Manziel, I sold some Johnny Manziel cards in my live, in my Whatnot show.
Yep, for sure.
So
Well, let's see what the volume was like on this one. 54 in the last year, which is not bad, and
No.
a steady $1.55 for an average price. Like, that's not too bad either. You could put this out there for $2.99 and probably get a sale.
and that's what I would do.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, for sure.
Like I said, being that it's 89, it's considered an old card by all all these new sellers.
Yeah.
He just didn't have a lot of options for there's no RPA rookie of Tony Mandarich. There's no, game used, like there's none of that. There's this and the score. Actually, I don't even think he's in score. There's this and then Tops, I believe, are his 2 rookie cards. Maybe Action Pack had one too.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd have to go back and look, but that's it. So if you want one of these cards for this iconic, loser of the draft type of thing, draft bust, whatever you want to call it,
Yeah.
you don't have a lot of options. And then if you can
Yeah.
get this one for $2, then it might be a good play.
Yeah. Lions Cards finds this a little bit surprising. Kind of like we found it surprising here in Green Bay when he got up on stage with Poison and saying every rose has its thorn.
Well, I mean, he was the original example of, the barbed wire tattoo, right? He was like one of the first NFL players to have a tattoo. And I remember people freaking out about that. Like,
yeah.
1989 was a weird time.
Yeah. Bradley's here. He says, don't forget about Jamarcus Russell. He's a great player.
Dude, that is so ironic because I sold a Jamarcus Russell Bowman rookie card this afternoon.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that kind of stuff. I list that stuff. I seek it out in cheap boxes, and it does well for me. Now, a lot of other people will list it. They won't, especially big major sellers. And those are it beats just having another Mahomes card listed.
Yeah.
I have plenty of that. It's fun to stretch out a bit and get some of this stuff up there.
Bradley says too that Panini is actually putting out a Mandarich autograph in their last few series.
Nice.
Yeah, I had not seen any. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I would be interested in one of those just for my PC.
See what I mean? It shouldn't have hobby, but sometimes it's like we just secretly like this stuff, right?
Yeah.
You have to like Mahomes. I mean, I not like personally, but like the hobby and the accomplishments, all the things that tie to it.
Yeah.
But this stuff's just fun and interesting. It's like the criminal cards I like to collect and things like that. It just adds some interest and intrigue into the hobby, and it makes good conversation piece if you're going to display your Packer collection in your Packer man cave in your basement. You put a Tony Mandarich rookie in there, and you can be like, "Hey, remember this guy and what he did?" And
Absolutely.
he had that stupid haircut, and I mean, everything was all great. It's defining of 1989. Remember, he used to wear those Zubaz pants, but he'd cut them off as shorts.
And I feel like he was balding already as a.
He was, he had very, very thin hair in the front. He kind of had like Hulk Hogan hair.
Yes. Exactly.
Yeah.
That tells you how long he was on the juice.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's just, he was a number 1 draft pick. Like, you can't forget that either. Yeah. Whether he was any good or not, or should have been, it's not relevant. There's only been so many number 1 draft picks, and they get automatic hobby equity for that position.
Yeah. Absolutely. Great. Now we're going to probably hear from his attorney my client has never been proven to be on anabolic steroids.
I would love to get him on the show. That would be amazing. And
That would be amazing.
I would point blank ask him, did you take steroids? I don't think he would lie about it anymore. What's
You
the
heard it
point?
here first, Tony. We're giving you a platform to tell.
I did see a little documentary on him a while ago, and he totally talked about it. He's like, oh yeah, he's like, I did it. I knew I could get drafted then, and
everybody was doing it. So.
I figured I'd figure it out later in the league, and I could get good enough then at that point to still be able to compete without it, and that obviously didn't work out. But
right. Yeah, fun story behind that one. Lions Card says, on the topic of Johnny Manziel, I bought a big lot that had a bunch of Manziel rookies in quantity. Pretty easy $2.99, as I found out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those are great cards. Always look for Johnny Manziel.
For sure.
I love those little niche quarterbacks. I buy every Tim Tebow I find. I buy every Teddy Two Gloves. I buy every Johnny Manziel, Johnny Football. I buy all the Ryan Leafs.
Yeah.
I mean, that stuff is mint.
Yeah. Oh, Max joined us. He says high picks were still good in college. That has some sort of weight to it.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, yeah, he had to be somewhat good in college. Now, don't they test in college?
Well, today they do. I don't know if they did back then.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, well. So I think you and I are kind of aligned that there's some hobby there with Mandrich. Mm-hmm. Not everybody agreed. Some were surprised to see the kind of volume he moves, but yeah.
To be fair, we're in Green Bay.
True. But at the same time, remember, he was on the cover of Sports Illustrated. Like I said, the incredible bulk. He was a big headline story. Had lots of hype behind him. And I think that, we always talk about the draft pedigree and stuff like that. Like, that carries weight, to Max's point.
Mm-hmm. Number one pick always matters.
Yep. And Bradley wants to throw in there, remember Dan McGuire? He was a bust too.
Yeah, I do not buy Dan McGuire cards. I do get them once in a great while on like a big, bulk thing. If it's a decent set or something, I might throw it out there, or an insert or parallel or whatever, but yeah.
Yeah. Max says he collects a ton of Badgers stuff. I don't care whatsoever what they did in the pros back when collecting was collecting.
Yeah, and that's a good point. Those cards where they're in a college uniform, like, I'll give bonus points on a card for maybe a player that wasn't great in the pros, but they are like Ohio State, right? Yeah. Or, USC or, something like that, where there's like all those collectors for those college cities, college towns as well.
Yep, for sure. Yeah. All right, what do we got next? Let's see here. We got some TB12 2023 Topps Composite Heritage.
Who's she?
Tom Brady. Who's she? He's that card store owner.
Oh, yeah. Remember we got to see him this summer. That was interesting.
We did. We saw his cleft chin leading the way.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, remember we were on the Skywalk and we got to see him walking out to his SUV and stuff, after he was leaving the show. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hobby.
Who is the bigger C at the National? Flavor Flav or Tom Brady?
Flavor Flav for me.
Right?
For me. Flavor Flav. He was awesome.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah. That was a guy that he doesn't get enough credit for what he did. Okay. He was the very first hype man, right? He created an entire style of dress, right? He was one of the first ones to do like the silver teeth or the grills.
Yeah.
He had the clock, and he didn't rap. He didn't play drums. He didn't DJ. He didn't do none of that. He just came on and he was like, yeah, let's get going, and then Chuck D would come out and do his serious, the police beat me up, that whole bit. Yep. And then Flav would come in and be like, yeah, I saw a ton of Flavor Flav cards, by the way. So,
okay. What Flavor Flav cards are there?
UMTV Raps.
Sure,
I think he's in the Pro Set music. Yeah, I saw a bunch of that stuff.
Yeah, music.
So,
cards.
But yeah, does Tom Brady have hobby? Yeah. unlicensed card, so that kind of matters. I don't think it matters nearly as much as it used to. I mean, we've talked about that for a long time.
Yep.
I
Ultra
love the
modern.
design. I love the throwback design. With the heritage look.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's definitely as hobby. I'd probably list this card. Well, I have this card listed, of course.
Why does it look like he's standing in an alfalfa field?
Well, I love it. It reminds me of the kind of the turkey red, kind of thing. I would say I'd probably list this at like $3.99. So yeah, definitely hobby for me.
Okay. We still got people talking about some busts, I think, like Vince Young didn't really pan out in the NFL, was a great college player. Ron Dane didn't match his college success, and in the
Ron Dane stuff sells well too. By the way.
I just listed like 3 Ron Danes this morning. A couple of these rookies,
rookie cards at least. Yeah,
right.
I wouldn't do like second year base necessarily, but
right, unless it's a nice insert or something like that. But well, then it wouldn't be base, would it? You said base specifically.
True. Fair point.
Dan says about the Brady, non-licenses, not ideal, going to be sold lower price, but it's Brady being a huge impact on and off the field. So yes, hobby. I was kind of aligned with Dan's line of thinking when I pulled this out of the box. Yeah, it's going to be a lower price Brady, but it should sell. It should have velocity. Let's see.
If you guys don't feel like Brady has hobby, message me because I will buy all your Bradys.
Wolfie's says Snoop Dogg A&G sells well, or should I say Snoop Lion?
Snoop Lion.
Yeah. Designated Heckler says if this were licensed, I'd love it. It still has hobby, but could be so much more.
One of the things I find really interesting, I'm just going to go to because this product came up. This is from Composite.
Yeah.
I think these cards are going to matter in the long run because it's going to have this little niche in time, right? Yeah. Kind of like the mask versus maskless cards that Donruss did, the year of COVID and all that.
Yeah.
This is this 1 to 2 years where Topps got back into making football but didn't have a license yet.
Right.
And Topps matters. There's always going to be people looking for Topps products.
Yeah.
And Composite was great. It was Chronicles, right? It had all these different little, sets. And so this is just such a little niche card.
Yeah.
That will never come out again. So I think long term, I think these are kind of have a little extra spot in the hobby. Not necessarily more value or more velocity. Ooh, excuse me. But I think that's part of the story of the hobby.
I agree. Max says Philadelphia's. I think that's
he's right. It's designed after the 50s Philadelphia cards.
Yep, absolutely. Which
Philadelphia gum, I believe, right? It was Philadelphia gum.
I think you're right about that as well.
Yeah.
So triple digits here.
It's Brady.
Yeah, 127 the past year, and $143, nothing to sneeze at. Again, you can easily put that out at $2.99. You probably put it out at like $3.99 or something for your floor. Right?
Yeah. So for me, I have to look at these. I mean, you guys should look at them probably a little differently than somebody who's, bigger with a bigger following, because you can eke out extra money because of that. So
yeah.
I would list it at $3.99. I mean, I have listed these at $3.99 and I've sold them at $3.99. So,
yeah,
they'll sell at that price too. If not, I knock it down on my coupon. Somebody gets it for $2, so I'm still above market.
Yep.
They get a little bit of deal, and then I sell extra cards for profit on the other side.
What I find interesting on the trends on this one is the up and down nature of it. I would expect this to be a little more stable.
I think it's just sometimes there's a few buyers that are there and sometimes there's no buyers. So it just makes it, we had 2 cards sell this week, or we had no cards sell for 4 weeks in a row. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's going to be sporadic. I don't think in season matters much when it's a retired player like this. He doesn't have any play. So maybe a little bit, because he does have off season present or off field presence, obviously.
Sure.
But yeah, you should always be buying Brady cards. Always.
Yep. That one's a pretty easy one. Now, I guess I say it's pretty easy, but it may not be that easy when someone says, "Oh, well, it's a 2023 unlicensed." There may be some people that discredit it much more than we do, and that's why I think we still have discussions like this.
Yeah, and something that was pointed out to me in a DM after a episode we made a few weeks ago. I got a message from a new seller that was like, "Well, you guys talk about, well, you already know what we do. I know what you do," and he's like, "I don't know what you guys do."
Yeah.
So we can't just assume like everybody here is vet and they know what to list and what not to list and what to price for. And not that our responsibility is to educate people on any of that stuff or claim to be any kind of experts.
Yeah.
But
Well, I
it
guess
is
we
good.
kind of did in the intro of Hobby or No today, but
Well, right. Self-proclaimed anyway. But I think the point of it is not everybody's in the same place either. So even if we go, well, this is obvious, it's this, it's that, we should kind of still state, the position on it so that
what's so obvious?
Right.
Yep. All right, let's go to the next one. What do we got here? If I can find the button and move it ahead. Here we go. Oh, 99 Upper Deck Retro Randy Moss.
Okay,
Pretty
this is
high print again.
This is an absolute hobby, yes.
Ooh, an absolute
hobby, yes. Upper Deck Retro sells very well for me. They only made it for 1 year. It has this vintage look, very clean. That photo of Randy Moss is amazing. He's in the Vikings uniform. Peak part of his playing career, his second year card for him. The nice yellow background really pops with the yellow stripes on the shoulders, so you could kind of give it that modern, color match quality.
Yeah.
The Vikings logo looks really cool on here. This is a 101% yes from me. I would buy this all day long.
Okay.
I would pay up a little bit to get this card.
Ooh, listen to you paying up. You don't do that very often.
Nope. And I saw a lot of Randy Moss, so that obviously helps that thought process too. And I list quite a bit. So again, this being okay, this would be great to go with some of the other Randy Moss cards that I would sell.
Max says best wide receiver ever, hands down. Yes.
I think I have to agree with him. I mean, stat wise, you can't really deny Jerry Rice either, but I think like pure wide receiver talent, minus some of his jackassness, which I kind of enjoy at times too.
Yeah.
This guy he's the show. So fun fact, the game when he played in Lambeau and he did that like fake mooning in the end zone, I was sitting like 5th row in the end zone. So I got like this clear shot of Randy Moss ass, like, right.
Were you offended?
No, I was laughing my butt off. Well, we were, I had a beer or 20 or whatever. And I was with a person at the time that was a lot of fun. We just had fun when we went out, it was that kind of group. And we thought it was awesome. We were laughing. So
I would definitely, if I saw this in a box, I would snap that up in an instant. So it'll be interesting to see what the sales are.
How many boxes do you flip through where you see Upper Deck Retro cards?
They're not that common. No.
So this is also made in 1999. So it's not junk wax era. It's right before things started to pick up in print. In the mid to later 2000s. So it has, remember, I take my base and then I add my points or subtract my points in my head as I'm shopping. And this has a lot of add-on points to it.
Yep, for sure.
Obviously a Hall of Famer too. You can never forget that part.
Designated Heckler says fantastic, great players and colors pop. Hobby all caps.
Yeah, he ain't wrong. I got to take a quick break. I'll be back in just 1 minute.
Yeah, go ahead. Max says Ted Thompson's biggest miss, which I would agree with that. That was another opportunity missed. We've certainly had our share of misses. We've also had our share of wins, right? We brought in Brett Favre. We were able to get Reggie White in, but you can't win them all. But this definitely goes down as a missed opportunity with Randy Moss for the Packers as well. Max says Moss easily better than Rice. All right. So now we're going to open up that debate, Max. So I would say they're two different player types. Randy Moss is, much bigger, more athletic. He's the guy you can throw that fade route to, and he can go over the top of anybody and get it. Just throw the ball up, which is exciting to watch. Rice was more of a precise route runner and amazing hands. So two different types of players. I would say both well-deserved Hall of Famers, both earning the legend moniker for sure. It's tough for me to say if I can only take one, who would I take? I know exactly what I'm going to get out of Rice every game. Randy Moss is kind of, I think he's a little more feast or famine. Like he's going to make some amazing plays, but there were some games where he did not really have as much of a presence. But heck, honestly, you can't go wrong with either one of them. So fair. I can't really argue with you on that, Max, as much as I'd like to, because it'd just be fun. But my take is just two very different players. It's hard to compare them head to head.
Yeah, I think it depends on what you're comparing about them. There are clearly things Randy Moss has better talent at than Rice, and I think there's definitely things Rice does better than Moss. So
for sure.
I think to have both of them at one time be in the league, it was pretty amazing.
Yeah. Bradley says buy for $3 and sell for $6. I don't know. I don't know that you would have to spend $3 to get this card. Actually,
I would find these in 50-cent boxes.
Yeah.
I don't know that I'd even pay up like to $1 for it. I would probably list it at $3.99 or $4.99.
Yep.
Buy it in a 50-cent box. I didn't comp it or anything. All you people in your comping. But
you comp, you just do it differently.
I do it in my head. I just do it off of
you're taking
previous
a
sales
reference point from what you have sold before.
So one of the things about just quick little sidebar here. One of the things about comping is I sell cards at a higher price a lot of the time. So to me, the comp is different from what I would sell it for from some random seller who listed one card sold it for.
Yep.
So it changes it a bit for me. But yeah, anyway, I would maybe list this at $4.99. I'd have to kind of look at, what would be a suggested price, and then I would go over the top.
Yeah. Well, let's see what kind of business this card has been doing. All right. So look at that. Over 1 year, only 9 copies of this card have sold.
Again, I don't think there's that many out there.
Well, we can check that. I wouldn't necessarily feel like this is a scarce card, would you?
No, but I've dug through a lot of boxes and looked at a lot of Randy Moss cards, and I don't see this one that often.
Yeah, but you're going through very specific types of boxes.
Well, yeah, but it's the type of stuff where this card would be in it.
Let's see, 2 at $1.99. There's 2 more. There's 4 more at $2 to $2.50. There's plenty listed out there. Yeah, I would say, in fact, there is an abundance of options.
You've got one listed for $3.99.
Do I already?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see my band. Oh yeah, there it is.
Underneath that, picked for you, I have one listed for $4.99.
Look at that.
That's great, isn't it?
Yep. And then a bunch of people got it at $1.99, and theirs aren't really moving either. So it's interesting to see this median sold price of $1.99. Some going as last sold was $1.79. Looks like a high of $2.95. It's a weird case where this particular card while we like it, the market says not really demand for that card, which is weird, but that's what the data suggests.
Yeah, I would still buy it and list it. Because I have a lot of Randy Moss buyers. So again, I look at like the breadth of my listings and this, yeah,
I'll be right
if
back.
I list, sure. If I listed at $3.99, it'd be harder to find a buyer, but putting it in with a bunch of other cards and selling it at $2 is extremely possible. All right. Oh, he's back already. I was going to say, I can't change the screens, so I can't really help you with that one.
I had to either get up and wipe my nose, or you guys are all gonna watch snot run down my face. This
I had to
literally just hit me at like 4:30 today out of nowhere. All right.
Yeah, I ran out of juice and I was getting really sticky mouth, and I knew I had to talk a lot yet, so I figured I better.
Sticky mouth. That sounds naughty.
I started drinking mushroom coffee.
Arise or whatever it's called.
Yeah, and it's actually really, really delicious.
You and Bo and your mushroom coffee.
This is a different one than I don't know what he was drinking. Rise just came out like 2 weeks ago.
Rise.
Yeah.
I've been seeing ads for that for a year.
Or at least this is the first time it's been at retail.
Well, maybe in our area. I don't know.
So, because Target's the only one that carries it.
Yeah, I'm not interested in mushroom coffee, especially after I researched it and I was like, this is kind of a scam.
It tastes really good.
That's my take on it. All the benefits they talk about, there's no scientific.
It helps you poop.
It helps you poop. Designated Heckler says, how much does the eye appeal of a card impact the sales rate and price? Would you buy the Moss card and expect a higher price or faster turn? Maybe some of both.
Yeah, absolutely.
Eye appeal is definitely a factor.
Basically, what we're selling is art pieces. So the appeal, the draw. Why do you think they make cards that are shiny or have refractors or sparkles on them or fancy colors? That the whole, there's die cuts, designs, things like. That's what they're selling. They're selling art. So,
speaking of
for
sparkles,
sure it impacts the price. Huh?
Where's Susie tonight? Speaking of sparkles.
What's interesting to me is if I were to list this, this card, this Randy Moss card, and then also the, Tony Mandarich card.
Yeah.
I would still expect this Moss card to sell before the Tony Mandarich card.
I would expect it to as
Even
well.
if the data doesn't show me that, I still think there's pretty good odds that I would sell the Moss first.
So you're a trend buster.
I don't know. I go based on what I've seen with performance on my sales before. So,
or you're just super stubborn.
It's probably some of each. Probably some of each.
I don't care what eBay says. This is selling.
Now, to be fair, well, is that just eBay numbers too?
Correct. Yeah.
So I'm also listing on Whatnot and Collects as well.
Yeah.
But I would also buy both of those cards and list them. So it's not like I have to go, which one? Both of those would be things I would put up. So
yeah.
But I would not, if I listed both of those today and the Moss sold tomorrow and the Mandarich didn't, I would not be surprised by that.
But that's also kind of why we do this stuff too, right? Like to see some of the variations on this, like our gut tells us one thing, but the data tells us something else. And sometimes you have to wonder, am I buying this card because it's fun to buy for me, or is it truly going to pay off? And sometimes they can get mixed.
I guess. I don't know. I don't get it. I'm not married to anything, so I don't. I just try. I buy what I think will sell. That's the only thing I look at.
And that's what I'm saying. You think that card will sell, but we just saw that it takes a long time to sell.
You're not guaranteed to sell that Mandarich tomorrow either. Just because that's like saying, oh, I'm going to buy this stock because it goes up 10% every year. Past performance is not indicative of future results.
People buy stocks based on performance every day. That's like the
Right.
main thing they look at.
But it does not guarantee that they're going to make money tomorrow.
No,
The
it
stock,
doesn't guarantee it, but it educates the buyer on a decision.
okay, so do you buy the stock that is at its all-time high, or do you buy the stock that has been beat up all year long?
Well, if I think the stock is already at its peak and the profit's gone from it, I'm not going to buy it.
Well, there
But,
you go.
yeah, I want a card with opportunity yet.
Right. So you buy the card that hasn't sold a ton of copies.
So you think since 1999, all of a sudden this card is, oh, now's the time. This opportunity is here.
Well, you don't know what could happen.
That's true. We both have talked about since day one we started working together. We've said every card will sell. It's just a matter of when.
Mhm.
There's a buyer for everything, right? But
Now, if you look at the long-term hold of it too, this guy's a Hall of Famer. He has some media presence. He has some people. Everyone knows who he is.
yeah,
You know, are people going to completely just not care about Mandarich at some point? I don't know. Maybe. I mean, we're not really comparing apples to apples here either, so that's tough. But
I mean, don't get me wrong. I said at the start I would grab this out of a box in a heartbeat. Like I would not pass that card.
well, obviously, you're the one who's listing it in the video here.
Right.
It's your card.
But you know, the data does inform me, and it tells me that well, I already got one copy listed. I'm not really going to list another copy right now, because it's just going to take up space.
I don't know. I don't think space is as limited as what everybody's saying it is.
Yeah.
You can make more space. It's not that hard. Cards don't take up much room physically, and you can open an unlimited amount of listings if you so desire.
You could. You could. All right. Let's move
In
on.
fact, you could list a second one and list it a little cheaper if you wanted to. If you wanted to try to increase the velocity.
Well, you could. Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. How about some Barry Sanders? 2017 Panini Prestige Stars of the NFL, Barry Sanders.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely?
Yeah, for sure.
So on name, I say yeah. On set, I say that's really overproduced, isn't it?
It's an insert, though.
Yeah, but it's like the Stars of the MLB inserts. Like
I sell a lot of those, too.
You might be the only one.
I mean, of the right players. Like, I don't sell a ton of Corbin Carroll, but the Judges all sell, the Ohtanis all sell, you know, I mean, you name it. Heck, the ones I got in the 2026 hanger boxes I bought, I sold all of them already.
Yeah. I mean, in general, I typically don't pass on Barry Sanders and, quarter and dime boxes. But I do recognize that this one is, there's no scarcity on it at all. And then you run the risk of everybody who wants one already has one.
Yeah, I sell a ton of Barry Sanders, so I would never turn that down. If this was a prestige base card, I would buy it.
Yeah. Okay. Dan says insert Sanders legend. Yep. Hobby. And I think we all are leaning that way, including myself. I mean, I would definitely pick that out of a box.
And you're going to tell me one sold in the last year and I still don't care. I would still buy it and list it.
Five.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
Yep.
5 in the last year for $1 on average.
See, I think the thing with players like this, and Randy, you can throw Randy Moss in this pile too. These guys have a ton of cards, ton.
Yeah.
So, I might sell 40 Barry Sanders cards in a month, and one of them might not be this one.
Yeah.
But I don't know which 40 Barry Sanders cards somebody's going to want.
True. Yeah.
And this one could easily be thrown in the pile with the other ones.
Yeah. And what would you list this one for?
Probably $3.99 because it's an insert.
Really?
I do two. What year is it? 17? So lower
Yeah.
print run.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would probably do $2.99 on the base and then $3.99 on the insert. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So then it's
And then
probably going to be your
most
coupons.
likely get a $2 sale on it in a 10 card order.
Okay. All right. Yeah, this one, even though I know it's a pretty popular insert as far as print runs, I'm surprised there's not more velocity on this one. This one does surprise me. I wasn't necessarily expecting it to be, triple digits, but 5 seems amazingly low to me for this card.
Yeah.
So, let's see here.
I would buy this before the Moss and before the Mandarich.
Okay. Dan says 2017 year was still a rare year. Well, I don't think it's that rare. I guess rare can be subjective. That's like, hey, this is serial numbered out of 2026. It's pretty rare.
Yeah, well, what he's saying is it was a smaller print run, which it was.
Then some of them, yeah.
Yeah, they really started ramping it up in like 18, 19, 20.
Yeah, but I mean, we're splitting hairs here. If print run was 4 million and other years were 10 million, so
6 million less.
Yeah,
and people are buying the 2026 cards and trying to flip them.
Yeah, that's true.
Bradley
says running backs get not much hobby love. I will take Emmitt Smith over Barry Sanders as far as collectability.
And I sell a ton of Emmitt. If this was an Emmitt card, I would have also bought it.
Yeah, Emmitt's got those Dallas Cowboys collectors, which are diehards.
He also has a very distinguished record that'll not likely be broken.
Yeah, that's true.
He has the ultimate, running back record, right? Most rushing yards in a career. That's a significant measurement of that type. Well, he has 4 Super Bowls, 3 Super Bowls? 3 did they win?
At least 3.
3, I think it was.
Yeah.
3 or 4.
I like selling his Arizona Cardinals cards.
I do too. Yeah.
They make me smile every time they sell. I sent one bill last night.
Yeah, and those are cards that don't have a lot of velocity, but there they are.
Yeah. Designated Heckler says, my kids know Barry Sanders is the greatest, and they only know him from video games and grainy TV highlights. Just because we have these cards, kids don't, and they want them.
That's not a bad point to make. As these kids think about how many kids are running around the National trading Mickey Mantle cards, right? So, there's going to be an appreciation, and there is film of all these guys. It's not like it's not like, Mantle where he played 14 season and there's 3 videos of him playing baseball total, And if you sit down on YouTube and you watch Barry Sanders highlights, it is different. It is different than every other running back.
It is.
Whether you think he's the greatest or not, there's an argument to it. So, I don't know. I would hang my hat on that and buy that kind of stuff, all day long.
Yeah. I mean, Barry, normally it's like a no-brainer for me to pick up berries. This one just, it just really shocks me what low volume there is on this one.
Yeah.
Lions card says the last 2 cards are the exact reason why I don't listen to comps sometimes. Many cases where I bought something, CDP tells me it's worth 50 cents, and then I sell it in the day for $2.
Yeah, I don't look at the CDP comps. Those also don't figure in shipping and other things. So
yeah,
if you're doing free shipping, you got to at least add something in to cover that too.
Yeah. The thing is though with comps, I don't think you should be just blindly taking comps. You should be using comps as just another data point to apply your strategy and make an informed decision on your
it's just an assisting tool.
Yeah. So yeah, I definitely watch out for that. CDP has that option where you can just apply
No.
their prices on everything.
No.
That
No. Don't ever do that. Price your own stuff.
absolutely. All right, what do we got next here? So I said or no on the Barry just because there's nothing there to get excited about.
Pack up all your Barry Sanders cards, Charlie, and I'll be over in 15
not
minutes.
what I'm saying. I'm not saying Barry Sanders doesn't have hobby. I'm saying this particular card of Barry Sanders does not have hobby.
So you pulled this card out of your boxes of stuff to list, right?
Yep.
Are you going to list it?
Negative. I put it in my lot box.
Really? Are you selling lots of Barry Sanders? Because I'll buy them.
No, I probably won't have a lot of just Barry Sanders. What I'll have is like star running back lots.
No, I don't want that. I just want Barry Sanders.
Too bad.
Or Emmett.
You want the Sanders, you're going to buy the lot.
Yeah, and then you get like no money for it, so it's not worth it. I'll sell it individually.
I don't know. There's lots are starting to work pretty well for me.
That's good.
Glad I gave them a try. All right, up next in hobby or no, we've got some Jim Brown action. 2005 Upper Deck ESPN Sports Century. Jim Brown, Hall of Famer, legend.
Yeah, you're tugging at the tough strings on these because they're running backs and legends. I love the Upper Deck or the ESPN Sports Century set. It was 2005, which is a less printed year. I mean, I would totally buy this card out of a value box and list it.
Yeah.
Jim Brown doesn't sell. There's no velocity to Jim Brown like there is Barry Sanders. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
But I do sell them here and there, and they sell for decent amounts. So it was definitely something I would buy and sell. But I do not expect a bunch of these to have been sold.
And what's interesting
in the last year,
Jim Brown had crossover appeal. He did movies, and he was, did lots of Hollywood appearances. So he isn't a name that just football fans know, right?
Yep.
So you would think he has more appeal, but I agree. His market is not as robust as his stature in the game.
I mean, I guess if you're going to say no to a Barry Sanders cards, you'd have to consider an no to a Jim Brown card. Yeah. Modern card, not a Jim Brown like rookie vintage card or something, but
that's probably fair. So look at that. No sales history found.
That doesn't surprise me.
And I did look at the actives on this. There's plenty of options in the active listings. Just no volume there. So exactly what you said, I would say no on this particular Jim Brown card. And that's where it's stuff like that I often tell people, I'm like, the hobby's kind of crazy sometimes and hard to figure out. Because there are plenty of cards that you would think would have plenty of buyers that don't sell. And then there's other cards that you're like, who would want this? Like your miscuts and stuff. And there's plenty of buyers, right? Or error cards. I sold a Aaron Donald error rookie today that listed him with the Steelers for $9, right? Like, oh, it's an incorrect card. Well, that makes it coveted, right?
I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, the F-face card is probably the most, famous of those, and that thing just keeps going up and up and up and up and up and up in price. It's someday that we're gonna see that card sell on, a PSA 10 sell on Golden or something. It's crazy.
Yep.
How much that's gone up.
Dan says he would sell that Jim Brown card within a year, but I doubt there's much volume for it. But to me, he has hobby.
Yeah, well, and you're in Cleveland, so there's that.
So that seems like an emotional decision.
It does. Yeah. No, I don't come across a ton of Jim Brown stuff.
No,
I do want to have a few cards in my store because I like the diversification. I think that increases sales.
Yeah.
So in that case, again, depending on what I would have to pay for it, that's a card that I wouldn't mind adding into the inventory. I ran into that with Gale Sayers, right? That's pretty comparable to a Jim Brown, right?
Yeah.
I only had like one or two Gale Sayers card, and I found a little stack of them. There's probably 5 or 6 of them in a dime box. A few shows ago. I'm gonna pick these up because I'd like to have a little bit of a selection of Gale Sayers, right? Hall of Famer, all Bears. Bears are hot right now. All that stuff.
Yeah.
Well, sure enough, as soon as I listed those 5, then I sold all the other ones I had in the store. Like I just needed to create velocity. Right. So just because there isn't any sales history doesn't mean you can't create a motivation to get a sale too.
That is true. And this is one of those ones where sometimes you just got to go with your gut too. Like,
yeah,
I just said or no on this one, and you saw yourself. There's no sales history for 2 years. I still listed it on Monday night,
and I would still buy it again and list it.
Yeah.
Now, to me, the difference in cards like this is buying them in quantity. Okay.
Yeah.
So that Brady card earlier, I would buy, if I saw 5 copies of them, I'd buy all 5 copies of it. If I saw 5 copies of this Jim Brown card, I don't know that I would buy all 5.
Right.
Of the same card. If there's 5 different, like my Gale Sayers example, if there's 5 different Jim Brown cards together at a dime a piece, that I would do because I can start to build a lot without building a lot, right?
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Yeah. So that would influence my decision as to whether or not I would buy quantity.
Yep. Designated Hector says, kills me, but Erno Brown had 2 big things against him for modern card interest. Didn't play with modern television and video recordings, and he was with the Browns. Those are pretty good points.
Yeah, he's right.
Yeah. All right. I skipped back a little bit just to get the card back up there. Let's jump.
It's a cool card though. Like that's still
we got Favre coming up.
I wouldn't buy those. You guys should just pack them all up and send them to me.
Lions card says, reminds me I bought a few SSP Bowman U autos that I could get $10 to $15 for recently. Yet the first thing I sold from the lot was a retail parallel of some dude from Florida International. Same lot as the Manziels.
Sometimes it's the card that nobody else will list is the one that you'll sell.
That is true. So if you look at how much is out there, you can get an edge. And I think there is a play there to make, but at the same time, I think a lot of times we discount the fact that there's a ton out there and we still say, I'm going to list it. So,
yeah, I'm still going to list
it. Of course you are.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to list it and I'm going to sell it. It's that confidence factor. And I don't want to dig into each one of these dime cards that I'm looking at. I'm just going to scan them and list them. And if they sell, great. If they don't,
Yeah. Yeah. All right. 93 Collector's Edge, first edition, Brett Favre.
Yes.
Yes?
I sell these, yes.
Says yes. Do you sell them all the time? Do they sell well for you, Adam?
Yeah, they're in the mix with some other ones. So this was the first year of not the first year of Collector's Edge. I think 91 or 92 was, but they do have a serial number on the back. It's ridiculous serial numbering. It goes up to, I don't know, 250,000 or something dumb.
I think it's like 10,000 or something.
But that was their thing, was serial numbering every card. They're made out of plastic, so you can pretty much bend them in half and they go back to shape.
I might have that.
They're pretty well made cards. And I just sell a ton of Favre. So for me, this is going to have hobby no matter what, just due to the nature of my specific draw to my store.
I don't think that is serial numbered. In fact, I was going to ask you what makes that first edition, because the first edition is branding on the back, if I recall.
So can you turn the card over?
Yeah, I'm looking for it right now.
Oh, okay. You didn't take a picture of it that way.
No.
But yeah, Collector's Edge is a interesting case because back in the 90s, like it was like the loser. I think of it like champion clothing. Okay. So when we were younger, you didn't want champion clothing. That's what the poor kids bought. You wanted starter, right? the starter jackets and all that.
Yeah.
Now it's like everybody wants champion stuff. It's super weird. So Edge kind of became like that. It wasn't quite as printed as a Topps, and things like that. They had their little niche with these plastic cards, and they did the Edge Quest. Remember, you'd get the cards with different letters on them, and you could spell stuff out. They did the 22 karat gold. They did some cool stuff.
Yeah.
And so they've gotten more attention recently, over the last few years. But yeah, I mean, Farva's hobby all day long. Don't kid yourself. He definitely sells. And again, this is a card that probably wouldn't sell individually often for me, but it would be part of, somebody's buying package. This card would be in it.
I thought I had this card handy, and it seems that I don't.
I thought I knew exactly where I put it, but
And this is a $1.99 card all day.
Yeah, that's what I would expect on it. I don't think I listed it. I thought I had put it in the lot box, but yeah, I don't see it. But I was really curious about that first edition because, as you said, it's not the first year. So I was
92 was the first year, and it had just a flat black border, nothing special.
Yeah.
This has this like blue marble border.
Yeah, I thought it was right here, but I got it buried in a bunch of 1995 playoff absolute, and it's not popping to the surface. So I'm gonna have to move on. So let's see, what did that do in the last year? Look at that. 13 sold in the last year, average of about $1.59. But look where it's dropped of late for some reason. Max actually said no hobby. Dan said no Favre hobby at all. It's so bad I gave my wild card Favre card I got from the National to some guy I met there. Where were you for that, Adam?
He's talking about me, a goofball. This is not first edition. I think first edition was 1992. So I'm not sure where you got that from.
It's on the card.
First edition was a prototype set.
Yeah.
And it should have, what's the card number on the back?
It is 76.
That's not first edition, because first edition is a prototype.
Now I'm really gonna have to find that card.
They're serial numbered out of 100,000.
And I do remember.
Oh, it does say 9 years. You're right. It says 93 first edition on the left bottom side. So
yeah, I'm right.
But it's not. It's like the first print run is all it means. It doesn't add any value or anything.
Run. Sure.
Yeah.
That makes more sense.
Yep.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about now. I just found one when I looked it up here.
That card has disappeared on me. I'm actually curious where it went.
It ran away, never to be found again.
Ugh. And now I'm all tied up in my boxes here that I was digging through for it. So, what are we saying? Hobby or no hobby?
For me, it has a hobby. I will always list any Favre. I search out Favre cards, so I'll list
Favre.
because I have such a wide breadth of his cards listed. I sell tons of just base random stuff.
Yeah. I mean, for me, given the velocity and what the price is doing, to me, I already told you, I put it in my lot box. Or at least I thought I did, because it'll add value to a lot there. And I said, no.
And that's perfect, because then you're not listing it, so that just helps me. So I like that decision.
I think what I'm learning is I probably have some boxes of cards I should sell to you.
Yeah, that sounds good to me. price them right, and we could work something out.
Yeah, there we go. All right. I think we're getting down to the end here. Oh, there we go. The other greatest receiver of all time, 2003 Fleer Focus, Jerry Rice.
Yeah, in the Raiders uniform, so you gotta love that.
Yeah.
No hobby, but I would still buy it and list it and sell it.
Okay. All right. I kind of lean the same way. Like I don't know that I would list it though. I don't think there's much hobby at all in this particular card.
See, the thing the thing with these players is I don't get a ton of Jerry Rice sales, and then I have somebody come in and buy 40 different cards.
Yeah.
That's common for any of these types of players.
Sure.
So you still have to have an inventory for when that buyer comes in and wants that type of package, right? Or in your case, putting together a lot of them, that's an option too.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like Dan said, it would be a multi-card purchase if I listed it. So did he say no for me? I'm assuming he did. Mine's covered up by some logo.
For Max?
No, Dan.
Or for Dan?
He says it would be a multi-card purchase if I listed it. So no for me. Yeah.
Yep.
So that's kind of what I was trying to say. So in a dime box, would I pick this up? Yeah, it's gosh darn Jerry Rice. But it would be based on the fact that this will help me sell other Jerry Rice cards.
Okay. Max actually says yes. That's good hobby for the Raiders. Let's see what kind of numbers are behind it. Okay. One in the past year for 68 cents.
Yeah.
So
Where are they getting these numbers?
I know. It's
There's no way it's sold for 68 cents. That's insane.
It's in the eBay app. So
Yeah.
it's their numbers.
Yeah.
Why do you say there's no way it sold for 68 cents?
This is such a stupid amount. Who bought it for
stupid amount, and stupid things happen every day in the hobby.
Okay, I guess so. I don't know. I mean, who's listing their cards at 68 cents? Like, that doesn't make any sense.
No, that's probably an offer accepted or something.
Who's offering 68 cents on a card? Like, or this was part of a coupon sale or a discount sale.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
So then that's not like entirely an accurate price in the sense that, well, they got it at a discount.
Yeah.
Because they bought other cards. So it's not like a true representation of.
Dan's like, 68 cents.
I mean, whatever.
Yeah. It's, for a player of his magnitude, this is another one that surprises me that, more copies don't move. So
yeah, that for him doesn't surprise me at all. The Randy Moss one surprised me just because it was such an amazing card, but
yeah, the Randy Moss definitely had better eye appeal, and better design. I 100% agree with that.
And I sell more Moss than I do Rice.
Yeah, I would agree. I do the same. So definitely an no for us on this one. Got a couple of throwbacks here for the Favre discussion. Let's see here. Max says stick with 12. I'm assuming he's talking about Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers stuff does not sell anywhere near, for me, does not sell anywhere near Favre stuff.
Yeah, I see the same. Like, I think Aaron Rodgers' attitude just sours so many people that they're like, screw that.
Yeah, he sucks.
His cards. So
good player, but a bad attitude.
Yeah. Designated Heckler says Favre definitely has hobby, but a theme I'm hearing is a lot of these depend on the content of your other inventory. Adam sells these, but a 90% baseball seller might say, no.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying.
Yep. So that is where we talked about this at the beginning. You kind of, this game gets away from us. because you often speak of things just in terms of your store, your inventory. And when we look at the market, what you're doing in your store might be totally different than what the market does.
Yeah, and that I
Yeah.
tried to preface some of those with
You did.
like, now this is what I'm going to do, and you guys shouldn't. No,
You did.
maybe you can build something to that. No, he just made the comment about baseball. Well, let's say you have 20,000 different Barry Bonds cards you have listed. Well, that you're going to have different Barry Bonds sales than I will.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you build up that customer base that's coming in for Barry Bonds stuff, you need to buy these cards, whether they've sold recently or not, because you can add velocity to a card. I'm not going to guarantee it's going to sell, but you could potentially, move it forward more than it would if it was a random seller.
Yeah, I agree with that. See, you're getting the sniffles here now too. What's going on?
I told you gave it to me through the phone here.
Bradley says bought a red color match of Jerry Rice and it's beautiful. Paid a few bucks for it at a card show with no regrets. Yeah, I don't know if you remember, Adam. I had sold a red parallel Jerry Rice. It was one of those framed cards. I forget what set it was from.
Yeah,
it's
so Gridiron King. It's Gridiron King.
Yes. It was so much red. It was almost too much red.
Yep.
But it definitely pops to the eye, right?
Yeah, I have Favre ones with green. So yeah, same thing basically. But yeah. Those Gridiron Kings cards are good. Yeah, Gridiron Kings cards are amazing.
And color match, I think we all know in the hobby, color match is a thing.
And I like the framing. It's a cool added piece to the card, and
yeah, for sure.
So
Keith All's here. He's been kind of quiet tonight. I wonder if he just joined us, but he says that 68 cents is a bid auction win, or it doesn't include shipping. But even auctions, can you start less than 99?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I didn't think so either. Although I find that eBay has lots of extra charges to do some different types of things. And maybe that's one of those things where
you pay extra to start it lower.
Right.
I guess I could see people doing that. Whole race to the bottom thing. I don't know.
Right. C4 Collectibles is here. It says found it. Looks like it was a pick your player listing, so probably sold with some other raiders, and then
there you go.
Distribute the cost over it. Yeah,
that makes sense.
Lions card says just needed another penny for a nice sale. Yeah.
It's funny because I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, oh, if you're gonna price them like that, you gotta go all out and do it the right way, But
yeah. Max says that's because everyone likes guys that rob the poor rather than guys that have a poor attitude. Yeah. We're back to talking about Rodgers and Favre, right?
Allegedly, yeah. I do not like Favre as a person. I will say that. But as far as like his playing style and the way he was with teammates and those were the years when I, watched football and was a highly competitive athlete myself. I took a lot from him and, fighting through the game and not being afraid to make mistakes and all that. And so that's why he became my PC.
Yeah.
For his playing career, not his personal life.
Fair enough.
Not that I have to defend, why I would collect a certain player, but that's my angle to it.
Sure.
Go ahead.
And I think there's nothing wrong with that. So,
yep.
C4 Collectibles says it's all completely relative to your store, your goals, etc. I'd say for the majority of sellers, the base cards are an no, but for some, it absolutely complements their store.
Yeah, because what's interesting is players like that. Randy Moss, when I get a 10 card order, I'll have like a decent insert in there, right? Or a parallel or two, and then a bunch of the base cards. Like it's like that's what fills out the coupon for that buyer.
Yeah.
Because they don't want to spend $2 on that base card, which every other seller is going to have to charge them to make any money, but they'll spend the $1 on it with the coupon.
Right.
So I need those cards. That's how I get those types of orders. And and it's still going from 5 cents, 8 cents, whatever I bought it for, to $1. So $1 minus 12%. So 88 cents, right? Is that how that comes out? Or 12.5% or something like that, because
Yeah.
you still have the the selling fee on the back end of that
Right.
$1 card. But
Yeah. Max says Adam's goal is to have 120,000 cards listed, where Charlie wants 100% sell through. Well, that'd be nice, but I don't know that 100% sell through is even possible. Although I have heard sellers on YouTube say they sell every card 100% through in 90 days. And I say, really?
yeah, I mean, go for it. Yeah, I don't. That doesn't matter to me.
No.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. Yeah, again, it's just different strategies, right?
Yeah, you never know what will sell. I look at I look at the margins. That's my bigger measurement for what I want to do.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And if I have to sit on it for a little longer, I can do that. I can invest that small amount of capital to do that. So yeah, it's just a different strategy or model.
Yeah.
Would I like 100% sell through rate? Of course I would.
I think
everybody would.
Yeah.
So, but it doesn't scare me to have like more listings either. There are very large stores that have way more listings than I do, and they do a very good business.
That's a fair statement. C4 Collectibles says, "Give me the sell through." Yeah, to the point Adam just made. I think everybody would love to have the sell through. Where the strategies are sometimes different is how much.
So I'll tell you a guaranteed way to have 100% sell through rate. You ready?
Don't list anything.
No, I guess you're gonna have a 0 sell through rate then. But only buy downtowns and resell.
I don't even know if that guarantees you.
It will if you price them correctly. It will.
I suppose.
Yep. Now, will you make any money on it? I don't. Probably not. But if sell through rate's what's most important to you, it shouldn't matter if you made any money on it.
Yeah, I hear some people say too, well, we sell everything because we just auction everything. But I see plenty of auctions on a regular basis that go unsold.
Yeah. Or they go well under what you could have sold it for if you'd have just listed it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you have to decide your business model, your strategy, and then you need to stick to it. You can't keep changing the lanes because your customers are going to get pissed off.
Yeah.
And they're going to go somewhere else. You can't go, oh, well, now all I do is live selling. Oh, now all I do is list cards over $50. Oh, now all I do is this. Like you can't go from McDonald's to a steakhouse to a seafood restaurant to I don't know. That's all I want to say about that one. I think if you're going to be a low end seller, be a low end seller. If you're going to be I only want to deal with downtowns and walk around all these shows and buy out these tables and pay 90% for the hopes of getting that 10% squeeze at the end, then do that. But then stick to that. You can't do all of it. So you have to decide what you want to be.
Yeah.
No, I'm not saying you can't add pieces to it. I sell downtowns or home field advantages. I do some live selling. I do that, but I don't abandon what the heart of my business is.
Yep.
And it's successful. Yeah, it works. So.
Yep. Dan says you can start an auction at a penny if you want.
Yeah, I thought about that after. I think he's right. I think it just has to be a penny.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like,
looks like we got some support on that.
Yeah.
Up next says the same.
Yeah.
The same. Yep.
Yeah, it does. And Keith makes the right point here. It defaults to 99 cents. That is the lowest price that it starts at. And then you can drop it to a penny if you want.
Yep.
It's kind of an odd choice, but I get it.
Max says sell through is all that matters in a business, though. I don't know how I feel about that statement.
Yeah, I don't agree. And that's, dude, you just bought 1 million cards. You don't have a 100% sell through rate yourself. So like, it's kind of contradictory to your own business.
I do think sell through is important.
Yes.
Correct. I'm struggling to put a cap on how important it is.
Yep.
So
And you can
Yeah.
you can have a 100% sell through rate and sell at a loss.
yeah, that is true.
So
And
you
that-
could do that. I don't think that makes you a successful. I think
No.
that's a poor business model, though.
That for sure is a poor business model and probably won't last long. Max says he's moved 30% of those cards in 3 weeks. Gotta sell through.
That's great. That's great. Yeah, I do too. I mean, actually, this last show that I went to in Manitowoc, I took all of that and I ran it as my live show, and I sold about half of it in the live show, and then I listed the rest, and I sold probably another 20 or 30% of that in the first couple days. So I have a high sell through rate,
Yeah.
that way. But I don't care if a card sits there for a while either when I have no money tied up in it, and I have all these fancy heavy drawers that hold them in place real nice that don't take up much space.
Well, I mean, I don't think it's fair to say you don't have any money tied up into it because even when you're paying pennies on a card, when you look at the volume of cards you have, I mean, there's some money.
Well,
in there.
I didn't mean that I don't have any money in all of the cards. I'm talking about like this last buy
Oh, okay.
because I've already sold more than what I spent on it.
I thought you were just saying, "Oh, I spend so little per card." It's like
No,
Doesn't
no, no, no.
matter much, but at your volume that adds up. So
Right, for sure. Yep, and that's just the investment in the business. That's reinvesting, your profits over a period of time and um getting stuff back out there. So, yeah. It's
yeah, for sure.
and I don't sell stuff in bulk. I sell it card by card.
Yeah. Well,
So
I mean, with your coupons and stuff, you kind of sell it in small bulk, right?
Well, yeah, I
100 card
let
orders.
people create lots. That's how I look at that coupon. I look at it as a lot creator.
Yeah.
Build your own lot coupon. But they're still all listed, individually.
Yeah.
That's how I choose to do it. It's like I said, I've carved my niche. I have a lot of regular buyers. I mean, it's funny when I look up like repeat buyer and it says they have 38 orders for $2,200 or something.
Yeah.
It's interesting to see how many people will come back and just buy another chunk of stuff.
Well, all right. Well, how about a 91 Pro Set Junior Seau? Hall of Famer Junior Seau.
Yeah, no.
Or no from you?
Yeah, no. So sale stuff does sell for me, but it's not like it's not a big mover or anything.
Yeah. And it's not, I mean, the Pro Set is very overprinted, right?
Yep.
Lions card says if Seo isn't a rookie, be prepared to sit on it. No hobby for me, but I wouldn't be surprised if there is velocity at like 50 cents.
Yeah, I've sold some sales. Rookies I will buy. You can find them a lot in dime boxes because it's like 1990 tops, and
Right.
Obviously he was around. His key early years were in the junk wax era, so that's
Yep.
obviously punishment from that too.
Yep, for sure. C4 says no. Dan says not a rookie, so no from me. Let's see what kind of volume he has. Yeah, not much. 6 of these sold in a year and averaging $1. So to me, that's definitely an no as well. Put the stamp on there. Just not enough going on with that for me to spend a lot of time listing that as a single.
Yep.
All right.
All agreed.
Yeah, that was pretty. I think that was the first unanimous one.
Yeah.
Emmitt Smith, 2000 Leaf Rookies and Stars in the Dallas Cowboys uni.
Again, as long as I can get it cheap enough, absolutely. I buy Emmitt Smith all the time.
Yeah. I would obviously this is coming from one of my boxes of cards. I would grab this. Dallas Cowboys sell well. Emmitt sells well typically for me. So I don't see any downside to this card other than it's a base, but to Adam's point, if you can get it in a dime box or a quarter box, there's plenty of room on it typically. C4 Collectibles says no for them, but I could see a yes for others. Let's
See, I
see.
look at cards like this as, okay, I would get this out of a dime box. I would find 200 or so cards of that, right? That type of thing, right? Like that, like the berry you showed earlier.
Yep.
You know, I'd have the piles of that, and I would end up getting them for half price, 3/4 price, whatever, 7-8 cents max.
Yeah.
And that to me is a no-brainer investment in an Emmett card.
Yeah, and as we see here, this particular card from that set does not move much. Three copies in a year for less than $1. To me, that's an no. I wouldn't, if I saw that card again, I probably wouldn't pick it up a second time.
Sure. Yeah, put all those in a box and I'll take them.
Well, you're usually at the same show, so if I don't get it, you get it, or you get there before me and get it. So
right.
C4 says, speaking of relative, it's a $1 whatnot run.
$1 whatnot run?
Yeah. Bradley says Emmett Smith collectability is ruined by junk wax of the 90s.
Yeah, I mean, but it still sells.
Yeah, I think I missed a chat from Bradley before. I remember glancing at it. I don't think I ever put it up, but someone had the question, do some of these guys like Emmett Smith really get hurt by, playing in the junk wax era? And I think just to a great extent they do.
Yeah, absolutely.
C4 says, meaning it would sell on whatnot for $1.
Okay, here's an example. Okay, here's a sale I just made, 10 cards. Okay. Just because this is relevant, I'm going to share this. I was just pulling up my recent sales. All of these cards I listed either on the 16th, so 2 days ago, the 17th, so yesterday, and then the 18th. Okay. So these are all less than 3-day-old listings. I sold a Metal Universe Tony Gwynn, a 99 Upper Deck Carlos Beltran rookie, which it's not a true rookie, but it's rookie on the card.
Okay.
An 86 Topps Pete Rose, a 2008 SP Rookie Edition Tom Brady, so base card. 93 Upper Deck Packer Checklist Brett Favre, 93 Stadium Club Brett Favre, 1996 Leaf base Barry Sanders, 97 Leaf base Emmett Smith, 95 Collector's Edge Instant Replay. It's not like a fancy card. It's just the set was called Instant Replay.
Yeah.
Jerome Bettis. And a 1990 Fleer Warren Moon.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you none of those cards have velocity. Maybe the Favre Stadium Club, because I saw a lot of that Favre Stadium Club. Maybe the Brady, and maybe the 86 Rose.
Yeah. And
I got, for those 10 cards, I got $15.30 after coupon.
So a common theme with your sales and a lot of the cards we looked at is, I would sell this easy in a multi-card, sale. Is that, I guess the question I would have, is that typical for the average seller? Do they pick up a card and say, oh yeah, this is going to be money in a multi-card sale? Or do most sellers, when they're picking inventory, are they thinking through the lens of a single?
I think they're thinking of it as a single or a potential lot, like kind of what you're doing now with lotting some things. They might think, oh, this is something I could throw in my lot. It would help it sell. I do think some sellers think that way. But yeah, it does. And that's why I've mentioned it a lot. It does help me maybe buy some of these cards that, wouldn't necessarily be cards I would just buy to list to sell as a single.
Yeah. And you have that history built up, I think
this buyer, by the way, is a repeat buyer, and he's had 15 orders from me, including this one. So 14 previous to this one.
Yeah.
And clearly he's waits for me to list stuff because these were all listed within the last 2 days.
And I would just clarify, like I wouldn't typically pick a card out of a box with the intent of building a lot with it. I do lots with cards I've already accumulated, and then I find, I'm gonna have trouble moving as a single. So to me, that's not quite the same thing as picking up a card with the intent to move it as a lot.
Okay.
Because that's not my exit strategy if I'm picking up curated cards.
Right.
If I pick up retail product, then I do think of lots as an exit strategy for some of the content of that box.
Okay.
So, yeah, interesting. Like your sales model, your sales history is definitely an advantage for you to be able to say, yeah, I don't sell a lot of this Emmitt Smith card by itself, but it gets added to a lot of multi-card lots that people put together on
Correct.
the
Yeah.
store. Yeah.
And even these cards that I just explained in this order, they're pretty random. They're not like
Yeah.
all Emmett, all Barry. They're all decent names, but would you list the 1990 Fleer Warren Moon card?
Not
Base
a lot
card?
of them. I might list a couple.
Yeah, so I grab a stack of stuff that I have, because I have a decent chunk of stuff that I haven't listed yet. Throw it
Yeah.
in the scanner, and I get orders like this all the time. I
Sure.
might have 3 bags of stuff that I list today, and I might have 2 bags sold by the end of the week.
Yeah.
Even though it's like totally random, like doesn't have any velocity, won't sell type cards,
Yep.
they'll sell. And then another time I'll list 3 bags and I'll only sell 4 cards out of it. But that's my point in that it's completely unpredictable.
Yeah. That makes it hard. I think that makes it a little harder to be strategic in your buys. It feels more like you're opening up your buys a lot more for that model, which I know personally where I struggle with stuff like that is I don't have those types of buyers yet. And you could make the argument that's because you don't have all these cards. But
That's the argument I'm going to make. Yes.
when I try to put my why did I buy this card to this, I struggle with some of these low volume, low price cards to say I had a good reason for buying this. At least at this juncture.
Now, did I buy this 1990 Warren Moon out of a dime box? Highly doubtful. I'm guessing it came in I bought a 5-row box for $50, or I bought out a dealer table and it was in there. It would have been that kind of a buy. So it'd be a couple of pennies in that card max.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, when we're selling what we're selling, you're not tying up a lot of capital in a lot of cases. So
Right.
if I put 2 cents into that card and it sits in a box, little flat piece of cardboard, it doesn't change my life if it sells in a day, which it did. Actually, that's today. I listed that this morning and it sold.
Yeah.
Great. If it sits for 2 months, it doesn't change anything for me.
Yeah. Well, I get
Now,
that.
would I love to have every single card I listed to Max's argument? Would I love to have every single one of those cards sold today? Absolutely, 1,000%. And I would go out and buy more and list new cards then.
Yeah.
But that's just it just doesn't work that way.
Sure.
It's not that kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Unless you're going to severely underprice everything and not make any money, or you're only going to deal in the super hot, the downtowns or something like that.
Yeah.
Or do all auctions and just hope you don't sell under.
True.
And like, think about that Warren Moon card, right? Could I put that in a live auction and sell it?
As
a single card?
You could probably sell it in 1 out of 5 auctions for less than you're hoping to get out of it.
Way less.
Yeah.
if you get a buyer at all.
Yeah.
I think that Randy Moss card, you'd struggle to sell that in a live auction based on your eBay numbers, right? That tells me it's not going to sell.
I don't.
There's
think
no
that
velocity to that card.
I don't think that rings true. Live selling works differently than static marketplace selling.
So then you should buy it and list it live.
Fair. Yeah, that's a good argument. I guess
You know?
in future editions we have to adjust for all marketplaces.
Yeah.
Which
So
means we
I
probably won't
think
do
the-
this again because that would take forever.
No, yeah, we're not going to do that. I think the biggest thing is, you know, buy cards that you feel like you could get a buyer for and list them.
Yeah.
If you don't do those things, you're absolutely not going to get a sale.
Yeah.
And by listing, I don't mean on eBay. I mean on Collects, on Whatnot, on Sport Lots, on, you know, buysportscards.com, on eBay Live, whatever.
Yeah.
Is your sources to do that. Buy cards and list them. That's going to be your best shot at any kind of an increase in a sell-through rate. You can't sell what you don't list.
I've heard that somewhere before.
Yeah. So it's wise man.
Designated Heckler has got a callback for us. He says, in the open, you ask what you call a group of goats. And he says, there is no such thing. You're either greatest of all time or no. That's logic.
Yeah.
I like it. I like
it's true. Here's another sale that I just got an hour ago. This one has cards that I sold a while ago or listed a while ago.
Yeah.
But at the end of this order, I have 2 cards that I listed 2 days ago. The 2 cards that I listed 2 days ago was a 1985 Topps Ryan Sandberg.
Yeah.
And a 1989 Randall Cunningham. Okay. Those cards probably have a little bit of velocity because they're a tad older and, you know, the names or whatever. I don't know that for sure.
Yeah.
But somebody wanted those 2 cards, so they bought 8 more cards that I had listed previously to hit the coupon.
Okay.
So my point in that is by listing those 2 cards, which you might have been like, oh, there's no velocity, it has to go into a lot or whatever. By listing those 2 cards, it helped me sell 8 other cards that I had listed previously.
Okay.
In theory. I mean, I don't know that those were the ones motivating it, but most likely because they're the newest listings, right?
Yeah.
That's the one they saw and they said, oh, I need this Cunningham card. Well, you know, my buddy likes Sandberg, so I'll pick that up. One of them is a Doug Williams card. Ironically enough, we were talking about old quarterbacks or, you know, short-term quarterbacks.
Yeah.
One's an Alan Page, one's a Fergie Jenkins, you know, older players, another Doug Williams, a Jesus Alou. I don't even know who that is. I think it's Moises Alou's dad. Because it's 1976 Topps.
Yeah, probably.
And then a basketball 1979-80 David Thompson Denver Nuggets card, right? Super random.
Yeah.
And then right after that was the Jamarcus Russell card, rookie card that I sold.
Jamarcus Russell.
So there's 2 examples right there within the last like half hour of sales that. Now, again, I'm not suggesting that anybody do this. I'm just sharing how my model. All I can share is my own experiences, my own thoughts.
Right.
And you know, it might not work for somebody else, but this is really works for me. As long as I list new stuff, those will generally sell because I have enough followers. So I'll get people that will buy that. I also send my coupons out, by the way. So if you don't do that to your customers, you're missing a big boat there. But anyway, because I sent the coupons out this morning, so I'm sure that helped.
Yeah,
But
you always get a rush right after you send them out.
Usually, yeah. So I like those newer listings, even if they don't seem like as single cards are going to be big sellers, they help me sell other inventory.
Okay.
In a lot of cases. Well, I could have just sold the Randall Cunningham as a single card too. Like that can still happen.
Right.
But who wants to pay $2 for that card, right? You're kind of okay paying $1 for it. So then you go back to the store and you're like, God damn it, I got to find 9 more cards now.
Right.
To make this a good buy. That's why I do it that way.
Yeah. There's people that do that, and then there's some people that say, well, that's too much work. You would be the one who says that's too much work.
To go back and buy more?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I wouldn't do that.
If you were the
No,
buyer, you'd be
For
like,
me
"No."
on the listing side, it's really not any work because now I have a full-time scanner and I scan it almost every card. I don't separate out like chromes or any of that anymore.
Yeah.
So like that Metal Universe Platinum Tony Gwynn I sold, I scanned that in. That would normally have been a card I would have photographed in the past,
Sure.
but I sold it within a day, so the scan worked,
Yeah.
did its job.
C4 says I had to adjust my thinking too, was moving away from $2.99 stuff until I started running a 50% off coupon on cards $3.99 and under. Realize that inventory is important to make that coupon valuable. Yeah, the coupon's not very good if you have like 100 cards that are eligible for it.
I don't think it's very good if you have like 10,000 cards listed. There's such a wide variety of
Yeah.
cards and sports and, you know, players and things like that it's just tough. It's
Yeah.
tough without quantity in the low end space. If you want to just sell downtowns and you only want 100 listings in your store, you could probably do that. It's going to be a battle to squeeze any profit margins out of some of those, but that's an option.
Yeah, I think you make a fair point. 10,000 sounds like a lot until you put 2 monster boxes down on your table and you're like, "Oh, well,
That's my entire store.
yeah, if I'm digging for, 10 cards out of that, am I going to find the 10 cards I want out of that, out of 2 boxes? I don't know."
Yeah.
So,
And it depends on what's in the boxes. Like,
what's in the box, man?
and who your buyer is. It depends. Like I have buyers who just come in and buy like random vintage stuff, and then I have another buyer who buys all Barry Sanders stuff. Then I got another buyer who buys all Cowboys stuff. Well,
Yeah.
dude, you got to have quite a diversification just to meet the demands of those 3 buyers.
Yeah.
None of those 3 buyers are buying the same thing. So if you want like a wide customer base and you want to, I've said this before with the Shopify store that I'm building, I don't want to fill it and I don't want to launch it until I have something in the store for everyone. And that is a massive amount of listings to demand to really be able to launch that,
Right. Well, somehow we turned an 8-minute video into almost 2.5 hours. I know you wanted to talk about your recent live selling experience. Should we pull the plug on any remaining cards and hobby or no? So you can talk about that a little bit before we sign off, or you want to keep going?
Well, let's I don't matter in that decision. Let's ask the chat. What do you guys want to see? Some more hobby or no, and listen to me babble on about how I do things weird? Or do you want to hear about how I did weird things on a live show? Some of you might have even been on there. I do appreciate I have to give a shout out. I posted it in the Discord and I had viewers from here, this channel, and viewers from the Discord join in and made a few bids and stuff, and I do appreciate it. But I'll tell you, since nobody, live show. Really? People want to hear about the whatnot. That's interesting.
Let's hear about the whatnot.
I guess that's what we're gonna. Here's how the live show went. Okay, I guess that's what we're gonna do. Sorry, Charlie. Save some of those for. I know you worked hard on that.
I think there was only 3 or 4
left.
5 cards left. Yeah.
Okay. So, a couple things when I reevaluated what I wanted to do with live selling. I do believe live selling is an important part, and it's something that, if you're going to be a serious card seller, needs to be a portion of your business. So I had to figure out how did I want to do that, because I do not like performing the live selling myself. I feel like a used car salesman, and I don't like it. And I'm not putting down people who do live selling or who are good at it. I think it's great, and I'm not opposed to selling. I mean, I've worked in a sales career my entire life, and I don't. It's not the medium I want to necessarily be on camera for. However, I found somebody who was very excited to do it, has a great ability for it, keeps their bias out. I tend to put a card up and talk about what a loser team they play for or something. Not a great angle to take when you're trying to sell something, right?
Yeah.
So I needed somebody who could keep a little bit more even keel profile on it. And the thought was, okay, that person will run the cards and, I'll do the shipping and mark them and all that to keep track of it. First of all, Whatnot does a great job of keeping track of all the cards that sell for you. And I'll talk about that in a little bit. Something I didn't know about, knew about, but didn't know about. Anyway, but the thing I learned the most from that show was what a huge benefit it is to have two people.
Sure.
Huge. And you might have experienced this a little bit yourself, just helping somebody out with their own Whatnot show.
Yeah, exactly.
We got in there. It was a slower start. No, I didn't set up the show like way early ahead of time. It was like, I put it in the Discord, like in a half hour, I'm going to sell some cards.
Yep.
Didn't have any main details. It was just $1 singles. Obviously I hadn't done shows previously, so I didn't have anybody bookmarking me, or I have some followers, a good amount of followers really, but nothing to really like set this ablaze when it's kicked off, right?
Yeah.
So it got slow. We did a few cards, didn't really sell anything, and then audience built a little bit. We sold a few, and the person hosting the live show did a really good job of saying, hey, well, what are you guys looking for? What do you want? And people, when they pop into your show, if you've done a live show before, they'll say, hey, you got any slabs, or you got any autos, or you got any, and that's all stuff that I don't really have. So it was easy to kind of turn those down. But this is what I didn't realize would be a great value. So let's say I had I was doing a bunch of football. I had a bunch of different stuff. I had soccer, I had football, I had a couple of non-sport, I had basketball, baseball. I was just trying to have something for everyone, hopefully, in that live show. But what would happen is we'd put a card up. Let's say it was a Josh Allen card, right? And we get somebody in there, they put a bid on it, and they'd say, got any other Bills cards?
Yeah.
So what I'm doing is, I was not prepared for that at all. So what I'm doing is I'm pulling out a 5-row box and I'm just digging.
Mhm.
And I'm like, here's a 1990 score Don Beebe. Okay. You know how terrible a card that is, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
He said, here's a Don Beebe. I found a Don Beebe and a Cornelius Bennett, I think it was.
Okay.
1990 score. Stuff that would sit in my box forever. I would never pull that out and scan it. And we just talked about the shady stuff that I scan as it is. And I wouldn't even scan those. So I'm like, here's a Cornelius Bennett. Here's the Don Beebe card or whatever. Puts them up. Both of them sell to the same buyer, right?
Mm-hmm.
But now I'm going, holy crap! I can sell stuff that even I can't sell. To think of it that way, and I can sell it all instantly and put it all in one package, and it's great.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I think that happened for a couple of reasons. My buyer was rewarding me for putting in the efforts to find them cards that hopefully they needed. They were in a position to just have some fun and pick up some cool cards. They got a discount because they were buying more than one card on the auction, right? So kind of your coupon code for live, if you will, because there's a max amount. I have a max amount of, so I think my shipping policy helped me too to get sales. I do believe that's important. Because I had a maximum amount that I would charge in order to ship an order. In fact, I had a couple people when they came into the live ask, what is that amount? Kind of preparing like, okay, if I do this, I got to buy enough cards that, my shipping is going to spread out enough that I'm getting decent value out of these buys. So that's what I had. I had somebody come in that was looking for Drew Brees stuff. And I got lucky. I just happened to grab a box that had like a whole stack of Drew Brees all in a row that I'm sure I got out of dime boxes. So I just started throwing Drew Brees cards up there. I had like Prism Draft and Century Legends, and it's like some decent brands, not 1990 score. So it was better than the Bills cards. And I tossed those to Ethan, and then he would kind of run it. And they bought 3 or 4 out of the, 6 or 8 that I grabbed. But again, those cards would have probably just sat in a box and it'd be like, Drew Brees doesn't do a lot for me. Yeah. I know he just made the Hall of Fame and things like that. So I'm probably more apt to list them right now than I would have been a couple months ago or even a couple months into the future. But it was just nice because I sold about half the cards I bought at the show the day before. And then I sold another like stack of stuff out of I didn't think these would sell and I haven't listed them in forever type cards.
Okay.
Because that's what I was grabbing. Because the first thing you list when you're listing on eBay is like your good stuff, right? Your best stuff. And then you kind of have these, well, I don't know, if I have some room in my store at some point, or I'm just trying to finish out this box, maybe I'll list them, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So what I truly learned and what I'm excited about going forward, by the way, my next show is 3:00 on Sunday, this Sunday, what is that? The 22nd, I think. Not so good with the calendar.
Testing me in a calendar. 22nd.
So, so again, it's just going to be $1 singles. And what I'm going to do going forward is I'm going to let whoever's in my show kind of determine what we end up selling. That's my goal. So I'm going to be a customer pleaser, live auction specialist. That's the title I'm giving myself. I'm going to get a plaque made and everything. I don't know. So if you come in and you say, hey, I want Brewers cards, I'm going to dig out some Brewers cards, and hopefully there's some stuff that you want / need out of that. And I'm going to placate to that. Now I'm going to have some stacks of cards, set ahead of time that I want to put on auction too, just so that you always have something going there. But I'm going to get my boxes, my overflow inventory that I haven't listed yet. So, right, can't sell what you don't list.
Mm-hmm.
That's the stuff I want to use, and I'm going to start organizing that better, where I can go, okay, well, this is all football. These are Bills cards. These are 49ers cards. Most of the people that came in were asking for certain teams, or even a specific player, like, hey, got any Gunnar Henderson? I threw a Gunnar Henderson up there and that sold. So I didn't realize how amazing that would be. Because if I was the one on camera and they were saying, hey, got any other Bills cards? I'd be like, yeah, probably, but I can't just leave the show and go dig for Bills cards, right? That's not too viable. Not to mention a huge time waste, because you're not actively selling while you're digging through a box.
Yeah.
So I'm going to organize a little bit more for that angle of it, and the show will get better. It'll get faster. It'll get, more regular viewers and things like that as time goes as well. So it'll develop that way. Customer pleaser. Yeah. Finisher,
Probably good call, Dan.
Happy ending. So that's what I was shocked. Like, I had some pretty good cards that nobody bid on, and then I sold a bunch of that, like 1990 score. I had a 1984 Dan Hampton card or something like that from the Bears, because I had somebody looking for Bears. So I was like, oh, here's a Bears card. Here's a, and that stuff sold. People were buying that. I'm like, what the heck are you doing? Right. So I didn't have like super, huge bidded stuff that I didn't think would go for much, or, I didn't have that kind of thing where it was like, oh, this is a $1 card somebody paid $20 for. Didn't really see those results. I wasn't expecting that. I put a couple of bigger cards out there that I had bought at the show that I got super cheap. So I wasn't like taking a risk. And they sold okay. They sold less than comps. But in some ways it was a door opener. Like, I had for lack of a better understanding of the name of this card, I sold a Pandora Bo Jackson top signature class card. Okay. Paid 50 cents for it at the show. It's an SSP, and recent sales were like $20-25. And I think it went for like $8. So, at the end of the show, I'm kind of disappointed. And then I'm thinking about it. I'm like, I paid 50 cents for that yesterday. Like, you have to get out of your head the maximum profitability on some of that stuff.
Return, yeah.
The other thing is, so that guy bought that card. He bought 6 other cards, like cards that really didn't have any business selling. And I'm pretty sure he bought them because he bought the Bo Jackson card. You see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's that candy bar at that checkout. It's that building your own lots kind of thing. I can translate that. This is what makes me excited about live selling now. I can translate that model that I use for my sales on eBay to my live shows. So now I have consistency with my brand. I have a good vast array of things, cards to choose from that I can sell. And I just have to figure out the best way to sort of curate that and be well set up for the show and ready to go. I did order a new camera mount because the one I was using is not working very well.
No?
So I got some hardware changes coming, and the station that I built worked really well. I was happy with that, and played some music in the background. It was good. We had a great experience for a first time. I more easily figured out now how to do like just generic listings, so it takes a lot less time to set up a show.
Yep. That's right.
One of the things that intrigued me about Whatnot is you can take your store inventory on there and just simply add it to a show.
Mhm.
So you don't have to take pictures, you don't have to do titles or anything. That would already be there, and you just add it to a show.
But then you're constrained to that inventory.
Correct. You can still add additional blank or just numbered slots if you want.
You can, but it's
which I did during the show, because we went through all the ones I pre-built.
yeah.
And then Ethan's like, hey, do you want to make some more? We're still selling stuff. So that's what I did. Another
Yeah.
good reason to have two people. I was on the laptop. He was on the camera doing the sales. So yeah, I feel like Whatnot's the right place to be for that. I like the platform. I like how they treat the sellers. Now, one thing I'll say for the day after for packing and shipping, right? So I sold 62 cards, and I think I had 18 orders. So a lot of multi-card sales, which was good. That was something I really wanted to have. I did charge shipping on each sale, so I didn't have any expenses above I think Whatnot had a deal. Was it 8% on Sunday? I don't know. They do like these discount commission rates
They do
from
yeah.
time to time. I think Sunday had one of those. They had one for the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl one, I think, was like 4% or something really cheap.
Yeah.
Anyway, but one of the things I really liked when I went to go pack the orders. Now I'm familiar with packing one-night orders. I do those every day anyway because I sell stuff out of the store. Oh, by the way, I sold a few cards out of the store too to buyers who bought in auction.
Okay.
So that was something that I was really hoping would happen as well. And I think again that could grow over time. And hopefully those buyers will come back and buy out of the store too.
Can you combine shipping on those though?
You can. Anything they buy, it adds it into that particular order, or you have to do like the bundle or whatever, the bundling. But you can do that, and then it applies the same.
Still open. Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so when you go to fill the orders, there's a little video receipt. I don't know if you know this. I kind of wish I hadn't shipped them all now, and I could show you. But so you pull up that person's order, where it says like create label and all that. Well, there's like a little play video button, and it plays the 30 seconds leading up to the sale of that card for each card. So you don't even really have to mark the cards as you go when they sell. You can just simply look at the video receipt, and then know what card you have to ship.
Right.
Now, we did mark them as we went. So I just use these little flags. This is what I found in the store. And we just simply wrote, 1, 2, 3, 4, as the card sold, we just wrote the next number on it, stuck it to the sleeve. And then I just, had a healthy stack of stuff to ship.
Yeah.
The following day. It took me maybe 20 minutes to a half hour to ship it all, because obviously I already had them all there. I just kind of had to pack them up and label them. And, Whatnot requires you to scan it now after you put the label on to confirm it's shipped. But yeah, it was super quick. Lots of fun. We had nice people in the chat, that seemed like they were having a good time, or were asking for stuff, and we were trying to meet those demands, and lots of asks for slabs, tons and tons and tons. So as weird as this is going to sound, I'm going to probably start looking for some chunks of discount slabs just to have some. No, I have some that I'm going to be putting in the next show. Just give you guys a preview if you're interested in shopping on the Whatnot live. But I've got an 89 score Derek Thomas rookie PSA 9. So I'm going to put that in the auction. I've got a 1988 Fleer All-Star Larry Bird PSA 7. I've got a Carson Benji, I think is how you pronounce it, 2024 Bowman Draft Refractor and that's a SGC 10. So some baseball prospect there. And then in 2019 Heritage Fernando Tatis rookie, mint 9. So a little bit of baseball in there as we're coming into that season. So I've got a few slabs I'm gonna throw up there. I have no reason to maintain those or try to list them in my eBay store. It doesn't fit with what I do there. So they're perfect to do on live auction for me. Got to change the shipping profile for that because I don't have a shipping profile for graded cards. So I'll have to, do a little work and whatnot this week and add that profile in. And, so I kind of look at it as a separate selling business from my eBay business, but I like the fact that I can sort of do a build your own lots strategy with it to still be consistent with what I do, what I like to do, and what I think works well.
Okay.
So that's my thought. So we're gonna try to keep it at 3:00 on Sundays, every Sunday, minus goat show days likely, because that'd be a little bit much. But outside of that, yeah, it's just going to be another angle. It was nice to have another $160 in sales for the day for an hour and a half worth of work.
Sure.
Plus shipping. So I guess let's just say 2 hours.
2 hours of work.
But that was also our first time doing the show. So we took extra time to set things up and, figure out what we were doing. Whereas, in the future that should all kind of get nailed down.
Yeah.
The goal is to do 2 shows per week eventually. My goal on that would be to have Ethan work remotely, do the show on his own. So it would be specific items in the weekday auction. That would be more of a curated show. So like, let's say it would be $1 baseball prospects or $5 Hall of Fame vintage, or, I don't know, something like that, versus just a random thing where we're just going to try to meet the needs of whoever is in to buy in our show at the time.
Yeah.
Which is what Sunday show would be. So in theory, what I would do is I would make a box for a show. I would get it to him. Wednesday, he would do that show. On Sunday, when he comes over, he would bring me that box. I'd get all that stuff shipped. We'd run the news show. And I'd send him back out with a box for a weekday show after that.
Well, Designated Hector wants to know when you're going to delete all your eBay listings.
So I will 1000% not be doing that. I think that's insane. I don't get that at all. For me, that doesn't make any sense to me at all. Spent a lot of time putting those listings up there. It's pretty effortless to get the sales in the eBay store these days for me. Get a few $100s a day between 2 different stores. And I have Whatnot and Collects sales as well. So I've already, added extra sales from those platforms too. So yeah, not deleting a darn thing. Those will still continue. The only possible change to those would be if I do a Whatnot show and I'm pulling stuff from listed inventory, then obviously they would have to be pulled off of eBay. Yeah. If they sell in the live show, but deleting that, just flat out deleting them and just going to all live, no. And I don't really have great inventory to do that with. I have a 1990 Fleer Warren Moon. That's not a great live auction card unless I have somebody in there looking for Warren Moon. I'm not going to get a bid on that. But as I just told you, I can sell it in a day on my eBay store. So now I can have inventory that can go to whatever avenue would make the most sense for it to sell. Maybe that Barry Sanders card would be good in a live auction, right? Because you've got Barry Sanders fans. It's a lower printed year. It's, it's a little bit older for some of these people shopping on Whatnot who are newer collectors. It's an insert. It's Barry Sanders. Maybe that's a place where, there's zero velocity for it on eBay. Instead of leaving it sit in my store for a year, put it in a live auction and get $1 or $2 for it. I paid 10 cents for it, right? 10 cents, quarter, whatever it was. The other obvious advantage to it is you don't have to promote. Well, you can promote your shows, I guess, too, but if you don't promote, buyer pays shipping, right? So there's some advantages over like things that you would do with eBay.
Yeah.
Flexibility in time, things like that. But yeah, it might change a little bit going forward what I'm looking for when I'm in the boxes. I might be looking for certain things that I feel like would have a better live presence. I got a better feel for that now, what that would do. And then kind of how I organize my stuff that isn't listed yet. You know, some of it's pretty random. And I might want to re-strategize that as I pick up more inventory so that it's easier for me to pull things out if a buyer wants it.
So do you have any concerns about chasing down inventory for live shows now? We've talked in the past that,
Yeah.
when you get successful in live selling, you kind of put a lot more stress on your sourcing to make sure you always have enough inventory to keep going.
Yeah, I think that's definitely true. If you're just going to do live selling, pressure's on, right? You got to sell there, or you're that's it. You can't get sales overnight
Yeah.
when you don't have a show. I won't feel that pressure at all. This is an added avenue for me. And most of the time, my shows, I don't want to do 4 to 6 to 8 hour shows. I have no desire to do that. I want to do a 1 hour show, an hour and a half show. You know, if things are hot and we got a lot of buyers in there, I'll extend it. You know, if the sales are happening.
Yeah.
But if it's a regular turnout type of show and I'm getting a few sales here and there, I have no problems ending it in an hour and just taking whatever leftover inventory and listing it on eBay. That's what I did with that buy that I made at the show, at the card show on Saturday. Whatever didn't sell live on Sunday, Monday morning I scanned them in and listed them on eBay.
Okay.
So they still got listed right away and were available for sale. And I sold a couple, as we just talked about. So I even added velocity to the cards that didn't sell live, by putting them in a store that has a branding and a customer base. So I'm definitely not going to eliminate that. That would be insane. That'd be like shutting down my whole business. I don't get that at all for me. Now, to answer your question, do you think that's going to be a challenge for getting inventory? I don't, because first of all, I have a lot of stuff laying around and I'm just going to throw a bunch of cards out there. If I don't sell anything, I don't really care to some degree. I don't have to sell on there. And the whole point of doing the live show is really just to get buyers in and then have them tell me what they want. Well, how are you going to plan for that? It goes back to my argument of, well, I wouldn't list this card because it hasn't had one sell. Well, guess what? What happens if the guy tomorrow pops into your store and that's what they're looking for? You never know. So, I buy enough at shows. I have enough stuff sitting here that I haven't listed yet that I will be able to put together 100 to 200 cards every week for a super long time without feeling the pressure of having to buy stuff. I'll always buy at our show. For the most part, I'll buy at the KI show. I have my dealers that I love stuff that I get from them at good prices. I don't think acquiring inventory where we live is as big a challenge as it is at other places. So I feel fortunate that way. And let's just say by some stroke of 100% sell through luck, I have 0 cards for my show on Sunday to put up. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I won't do the show. I will cancel the show. But that's just not necessarily going to happen. The thing that I want to test, and I'm scared to do it up to this point, is a non-sport show. I really don't know what to put together in a non-sport live show. It's so random. There's the obvious things, a Star Wars show, a Marvel show, right? But outside of that, that one's a little bit, tougher to pin right down. So, I don't know. I don't know what that part would look like. So yeah, that's basically my experience from the YouTube, from the Whatnot live show. I enjoyed it way more than I thought I would. I had somebody fun to do the show with that was having a good time and very chill, easygoing. Was like, hey, throw me some Bills cards. We just kind of went with it and made it happen and played some fun music. And is great. It was great. So much better feeling on it than I had when I was just doing them by myself.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I think you solved that problem. And we first started looking at live selling, we would often ask ourselves, do you want to list for 3 hours or sell live for 3 hours? And you were pretty clear, like, yeah, I don't want to be live selling for 3 hours. I don't know if I even want to live sell for an hour. I'd much more enjoy the listing, but you've kind of solved that problem now because you're not the voice behind the camera, and you're not the hype man. You're the supplier.
Yeah, and we had a good moderator in there who was like, "Hey, make sure to check out the store. There's 70,000 cards listed in the static listings. You can combine your order, blah blah blah." So there was just there was a lot of pieces that came together. For a first show, it was like way better than it should have been,
Yeah.
in my opinion. So I think that's gonna be the right mix for me. Now, hopefully this person can continue to do this with me. He's super pumped to come back Sunday and do the next show, so we're good there. I got a nice pizza oven down here. We throw some pizzas in and have a little pizza and pop party, to go with it. And it's I've got a nice space down here, a nice office to work in, and we have our own floor. I got my own bathroom with a urinal in it. Like it works for having a sort of collaborative work environment for a couple hours each week. So yeah, that's my thought. And then you start kind of going off into like these other things, and it was like, hey, what if we did like some wax? What if we did, buy some boxes of wax and see what we do with live on that? That's not something I would want to buy and have sit in my store, tied up in my store. But it would be fun to do a wax show, and have a bunch of different like cool wax boxes that you could try to sell live.
Yeah.
So it just opens up some possibilities to do some things that I don't feel like are real reasonable in my current business model, with static listing, and I like that part. Just like I think my static sales reputation and business is helping my live selling and my social profile or whatever. I think it can do the same the other way. So I'm hoping I can kind of bounce people back and forth. I got a bunch of new followers yesterday. One of the buyers was asking, we had run a card and he had missed it. He hadn't bid in time. So he asked us if we could run it again. So we ran it again. He did bid and he bought it. He said, thanks so much. I guess some sellers won't do that. I don't know. It seems weird, but he said, thanks so much. I gave you a follow. And, so I gained a new customer, legit. He bought that night and he followed me, and he'll be notified when I do my next show. So it's you have things to build on, just like with the store. In my opinion, too many people were selling on eBay and they were seeing it as eBay was the business and not seeing it as their own business, which I think is a terrible strategy. And I said, no, you need to brand and you need to, decide what kind of seller you want to be and then stick to it and blah, blah, blah. Like those, I need to apply those same things to my live selling. And I feel much more confident now that that's something that I can accomplish. So very excited about it. It was fun. I sold some cards that had zero business selling. And now that's what I was really looking for, is for something. I can take that Pandora Bo Jackson card and list it in eBay and sell it the same day for close to comps. If I underprice it, especially if I would have priced it for what I sold it for live, yeah, absolutely. It would have gone within 15 minutes. But I wouldn't have sold all those other cards. Do you see what I'm saying? So I feel like I have the best of both worlds. I can really choose to put it wherever it's going to fit. And perform the best for me, make me the most money, whatever, make my customers happy. I can do that. And that's a big advantage, because before it was just like list it and hope someone sees it and buys it. I can send out the coupons. I can send out here's my new listings. I can have it posted to my Facebook page saying, here's what I listed today. But that's still not the same effect as, the live selling. The live selling crowd is a different group of buyers than the eBay buyers too. So, it's almost an entirely different customer base. I would say a lot of people who shop on Whatnot don't shop on eBay, and a lot of people who shop on eBay don't shop on Whatnot.
It does seem to be very different customer bases. Same with like collects too. Like collects and eBay and Whatnot don't seem to mix.
So I like that part. That's another part of a platform that's going to get me some eyes that wouldn't necessarily get me eyes, and give me another opportunity to make that sale. It didn't really feel like work. It felt, it was a little bit put me on tilt because I wasn't expecting to like dig through random boxes to look for stuff. But I had fun. It was fun doing that. And I'm pulling up like 1990 score Cornelius Bennett. I'm like, why do I even have this card? That should have been in the trash bin. But I found a buyer for it. That was exciting. That was super exciting to me. And not that if I listed it static, it absolutely wouldn't have sold, but not real likely, and certainly not at pull it out of the box and here it is, ship it.
I think some of those cards of like Team Legends and even Hall of Famers, they're not top of mind sometimes to be searching eBay for it. But if you're dropping into a live and that card comes up, it triggers memories, and you're like, oh, I remember that game where he had 3 sacks against whoever, Drew Bledsoe, and that was an amazing game, and I went with my cousin, and it's the best time we ever had together.
And it's relative too, right? So like, let's say it's a young guy buying, or a young girl, whoever, buying these cards from me that night, right? A 1990 card to them is like a 52 mantle to us.
Yeah.
If you look at the timeline, it's true. It's about the same number of years.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, there's more of 1990 score available than 1952 mantle still to this day, but my point is that's probably not something they would have, seen or come across or even knew existed. And they're like, hey, that's a cool card. And Cornelius Bennett was awesome. I bought these other Bills cards. I'll throw that in.
Mm-hmm.
It's a buck. It's a buck on my purchase because I already hit the maximum for shipping.
Mm-hmm.
So it was awesome. It was cool. I'm looking forward to the next one, and it's kind of got my wheels turning of what I want to do with some of my stuff laying around here. And instead of having to grab stacks and scan everything, I can have a couple of boxes just laying around that I can dig through and just pull during lives and trying to meet some demand that way. I sold a Johnny Manziel card. And then somebody said, you got any more Manziel? So I'm we just talked about him earlier, digging frantically through some of those, card boxes, found another Manziel, threw that over there. Like, I don't know. It was just super random and weird. I'm pulling out vintage Bills cards, and then I'm pulling out Johnny Manziel cards, and then somebody asked for something. Oh, the Drew Brees stuff, like totally not all the same thing. And I like that part. I think that's going to be, and the next show, they're not going to be asking for those same guys. Likely it'll be something else.
Yeah.
Got any hockey slabs? No, I don't have any hockey slabs, yeah. So I don't know. I think it's going to be fun. I think it's a nice extra chunk of quick income, which is obviously the point of doing a live sale.
Mm-hmm.
And a new place to build a good customer base.
Moving inventory quickly is another advantage of live selling.
Right. And I can take anything that's listed static and now add it to a show. That's real easy.
That's true. Yeah.
That really intrigued me early on with the Car Dealer Pro to Whatnot thing.
Yeah. Designated Heckler says, whoa, wasn't expecting to hear you have a urinal in a card area. Are you going to deduct it with your customer pleaser plaque?
Wow. Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know what to answer to that. It's definitely not in my card area. It's just on the same floor, I believe is what I said. But yeah, I get what you're saying. There's just something urinals are just the best. I don't know. There's something to just going and standing there, taking your leak and walking away and not having all the complicatedness of, the toilet and the pants and all that whole business. So
Fair.
I think most of us men who can stand to pee, we do appreciate it, and it's a nice added feature in my office area.
Yeah.
I do have the theater down here, you know, we can take a break and sit in the quiet room or put a flick on, or, you know, something like that. And so I have a kitchen. So it's a solid environment to be able to work a couple of live hours in at a time.
Yeah.
Outside of my work that I do down here.
Well, good. It sounds
So-
like you've kind of turned the corner on live selling. I'm interested to see where this goes.
Yeah, I needed to find a way to make it work. I don't give up just because it's something I don't want to do, but I will put my efforts into finding a different way to do it so that I don't hate it. And that's kind of what I've come up with.
Well, there
You know, it's just like I didn't want to sell downtowns. Everybody was doing YouTube videos of selling downtowns. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to sell $2 cards.
Mhm.
So I said, screw it. I'm going to do it. And I'm going to start making videos about how to sell $2 cards. And now all you Yahoos follow me and watch me. It's super weird because I don't know anything, but I do appreciate it. Appreciate the continued support. And my sales day videos, I brought those back and they're booming. I'm over like 600 views on the one I did yesterday.
Yeah, people love those.
It's crazy how, you know, what the attention that it gets. So I'm humbled and forever grateful, and look forward to continuing to grow. And I'm glad I'm really happy to see so many Discord members and people message me about, you know, how they're so happy that they're successful and they have fun with it and they're making a little bit of money. And you know, that's awesome. That's something we wanted to do. We can all be competitive and have fun with that. You know, we all want to sell our cards, but we can work as a community and grow. I think there's too little of that in the world these days. It's all me versus you. And I think that's a terrible strategy. I've learned so much since we started doing this, from like not my own experience, but from you guys. Like even up to last couple weeks when they were like, dude, why are you doing subscriptions on Card Dealer Pro? It's cheaper to just buy the a la carte. And I'm like,
Yeah.
that makes no sense, but you're absolutely correct. I am doing that. And I changed exactly what I was, you know, everything I was doing with Card Dealer Pro that day because of that. You know, the bag system from, you know, our viewer who unfortunately we haven't seen in a long time now.
Urethra.
Yeah, Urethra. Gave us the idea of, you know, and we modified it a bit to how it would work best for us, but you know, things like that are valuable. And I think those are all things we can all help each other with. And I want to continue to do that. So I want to continue to share my experiences with live. You know, I want you guys to post in there and ask questions and share your experiences, and then we can all get better. It's going to be better for your business. We're all going to make more money. Our customers will be happier. I think it's all win-win-win. So do it. Put the work in. You got to put the work in, because I'm not doing that for you. Outside of that, I'm happy to help with anything I can possibly share. You know, to make you as successful as you want to be.
Well said. Well, we are over the 3-hour mark.
I know. What the hell are we doing? I was surprised you had so many cards on Hobby or No. I thought it'd be like 3 cards, and they just kept coming.
That video is less than 9 minutes I put together.
Yeah, but you didn't.
Over 2 hours.
Yeah, but you didn't have us talking about it or the chat. You gotta
Us?
add in like an hour per card.
You had a lot to say on each one.
Like you didn't expect that.
No, I did.
Okay.
Okay, perfect transparency here. As I was putting it together, I just had that random amount of cards, and as I was doing it, I was like, I probably need to cut this down by at least 5 or 6 cards, because Adam does talk a lot about each one. But I didn't do it. I just let it go, and you did not disappoint.
Well, that, you know, that's literally my thought process when I'm looking at these cards going in a box. That's why when I get done with a show and I come home, I sit in the chair and I pass out.
Yeah.
Because I use every inch of my brain capacity to go through this and look at, okay, what can I get for a bulk? And what is this? How many points can I add to this card? It's almost like counting cards in a card game, right? So I go, okay, well, it's not just the ace of spades. It's the ace of spades has more value because the other three aces were already played, and so you're doing pluses and minuses, and that's what I do when I go through those cards. So hobby or no fits exactly into like what I look at.
Yeah.
And I think most of us do. I'm not just speaking for myself. I think we all have that. You have to, right? That's how you're going to be
And that's the
successful.
whole idea. Like hobby or no is kind of a simulation of you're going through a box looking at these cards. What are you going to do? So.
And hobby or no is super popular. We hear about it all the time, and it was due for a comeback. So I appreciate you putting it together. You did a good job with it. Yeah. So I know the demand is back. We're gonna have to do another one sooner than later, but it does get to be time consuming and all encompassing in a show.
Yeah. So we will. I know we had a request already to put a baseball one together during spring training. I think we can definitely do that. I'll get started working a little bit at a time on one now that I've got some helper tools that help me put that together a little quicker than I did the first couple. So, but anyway, I think that's a wrap for tonight. It's been some great discussion. So tonight we learned that stars don't necessarily always mean hobby. Surprises are everywhere in the hobby. Sometimes the busts sell better than the hits. And live selling works best when teamwork and flexibility take over. Chase the cards your chat wants, and apparently keep an eye on Adam's cow-tagged ball bags. We'll see you next time, everybody.
Oh, that escalated quickly. All right. Remember, you can't sell what you don't list. See y'all next week. Wednesday, 8 Central Standard Time every week. Me, JC3 Cards and Collectibles. He's got a YouTube channel too. Go check it out. Amazing blog that he does. Yeah, it's a blog, right? I guess.
Podcast.
Yeah. Okay, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Podcast that he does every week. Go check it out.
And Stu.